Hello! Hello, viewers. It's nice to have you back. I am, as always, your princess and stream host, Daihime-sama, and we are once again back on the island of Rokenjima with Umineko when they cry. I trust you, Hatsune Marvin. I trust you to keep that promise. Last time a lot of things happened. We saw the parallel to energy swords. We saw energy shields. Battler had an emotional breakdown. That was pretty funny. He was called incompetent. That was great. Because he is incompetent, so it was really funny. He's a big dumb idiot who I want to make fun of more. Who I want to see made fun of more as well. So hopefully we'll get to see more of that. I've really been enjoying episode 2 once it really started kicking off. It's been kind of non-stop action since the murder started. Rose is an insane person. She's got a gun. That's always great. Always great to give the most unstable MILF in the room a shotgun. I think. I think every unstable mom should be armed with a Winchester. I think that was about it. We talked a lot about locked room mysteries, on how they could be solved without magic. The usual back and forth. Lots of things were said, both in white, in regular text color, and in red. Many things are happening. Oh god! Oh god, it's Mr. Feel's Wild Ride, rating with 108 viewers. Welcome, Feel. Welcome. I literally just started the stream. You can see it. The timer is at 7:46. There are many Chris Deltaroons wiggling in my chat room. Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Feel's entire chat room. Oh my gosh. Megane mode? Sweet Creamy redeemed the Megane mode? You're going to a gay bar. That's awesome. I hope you have a wonderful time at the gay bar. I literally just started the stream, so I guess I'll say it again. We're nearing the end of episode 2 of Umineko. I believe I literally just stopped when it turned at 9 o'clock last time. We saw energy shields. We saw Goatman. Rosa is armed with that shoddy. You can stop missing episode 2 streams. Oh, is it because you're ahead of me now? That's fun. What else? What else happened last time? What episode are we on? 2. We're near the end of episode 2, Jackley. Near the end of episode 2. So, if you don't know me, I am the glorious Daihime-sama. I am the princess of the Rose Rabbit Army, here to conquer your silly little planet Earth. Also, I play a lot of video games, which I'm doing tonight. I've been reading a lot of visual novels lately on stream. I've read Tsukihime. Just recently we finished The Great Ace Attorney 2, and now we're on Umineko. How fun. Collapsed Vigil, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. You're now required to love me forever. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let me load it up. I love the gradient on the load and save boxes. It's just so funny to me. I believe, yes, that's where we were last. Good username. Thank you for following as well. How's Genji doing? We didn't check up on Genji. He like did a cool kunai knife throw at a butterfly. He's like a ninja butler now. It's insane. After Genji finished his late meal, he went out to do the nighttime rounds inside the mansion. He'd eaten some reheated soup that Goda had made along with some random leftovers from the refrigerator. Those were all things Goda had made himself and were, of course, delicious. He had half-heartedly gone to ask Rosa and the others what they would do for dinner, but he'd gotten yelled at by a voice telling him that the canned food they had would be enough, and the door wasn't even opened for him. So, ironically, the servant Genji was able to eat a more delicious meal. But why was it that Genji wasn't afraid to do the rounds all by himself? Even though all of those crimes had been committed and many people had already met a brutal end? Judging by his appearance as he carried out his usual tasks without a trace of fear, as though everything was normal, you might think all of the horrible events of that day had been no more than a dream or an illusion. Was he taking a philosophic view, or had he just accepted his fate? Oh, I bumped my microphone. Sorry! Genji must have considered it a virtue that, when the fate that awaited him was unavoidable, he carried out his duty systematically until the last moment. The depths of his heart would probably remain hidden for all eternity unless he spoke of them himself. He had returned his master key to Rosa, so the places he could reach were extremely limited. All he could do was walk around the hallways, checking to make sure all the windows were closed. That probably made his rounds go a lot faster than usual. You ever just stand alone in the rain? He's just hanging out. At the sound of a reserved knock, Aunt Rosa, who had been falling into a doze, jumped and woke up, pointing the barrel of the gun at the door as she yelled, I was napping on a sofa, and that voice also brought me back to reality. Genji de gozaimasu.
何か用なの? 扉は開けなくて結構よ。そのままで話して。
はい。
I don't think Genji wants to go in this room anyways, not with this lady here.
このままで失礼させていただきます。
She's like one nerve away from just snapping and shooting everyone.
南條先生と熊沢の遺体を見つけました。
Oh shit, where did they go? They disappeared after the fake cannon slit their throats.
なんだって。そう。
What happened to them?
わかったわ。確認に行きましょう。死体を見ない限り、私は誰も信じない。
Yeah, Rosa will definitely start blasting at the slightest provocation. That's right, all you have to do is stay with Maria. I'm sure everything will be fine. Maybe my face seemed to be darkened with anxiety. Maria grasped my hand with her small hand and spoke softly, trying to give me courage. Since it was Aunt Rosa's job to ready the gun and stand guard, it fell to me to remove the barricade of sofas. When I finished, I took a backwards glance at Aunt Rosa, who was pointing the barrel of the gun over my shoulder, and opened the door. Their corpses disappeared so long ago, I almost forgot. It was like at the beginning of the last stream. She's so paranoid. Aunt Rosa called me to a halt to prevent me from going on ahead and began to carefully check the locks of each of the windows. But those locks had already been checked once. It felt kind of unpleasant, as though she suspected that I might have secretly unlocked them when she wasn't looking. No, maybe Aunt Rosa was right to be this cautious. Though it was called a courtyard, it wasn't really a great place. A pretty place you could take a walk in, like the Rose Garden. Oh, is this the same courtyard, that Battler ran out in the first episode that the incinerator room led out to? I think so. On the contrary, since it was surrounded by the mansion on all sides, it made you feel a little uncomfortable, as though it was telling you that there would be no escape from this mansion no matter where you tried to run. On the other hand, that meant that even though we could still hear the violent winds, the wind itself was blocked. Genji saw and held out an umbrella, but Aunt Rosa ignored him. That umbrella is probably poisoned too! She was probably hinting that the gun took two hands, and it would be dangerous if she took the umbrella. We didn't need Genji-san pointing for us to know this. Right in the center of the courtyard, we could see where Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa-san lay. Aunt Rosa entered the courtyard without even opening an umbrella. So Genji and I also entered the courtyard without opening one. Is that like a matter of courtesy? I would still take an umbrella. I'm not getting wet. Rosa can do what you want. Only Maria opened hers.
マリア、これはあれだな。
おお、第7の番と第8の番だね。
Oh, that little drip drop sound was the thing updating.
なるほど。
I'll take a look at it in a second.
確かに源氏さんたちが言っていたように二人の首にはひどい傷があるわね。すごく鋭利な、まるで日本刀か何かで切ったかのようにすっぱりね。
Canon really is the Virgil. Those gaping wounds on their necks definitely made me want to avert my eyes. But after seeing that Halloween party in the chapel, even though they looked horrible, they were no longer enough to make me feel sick. More importantly, our gazes fell to their legs, to Dr. Nanjo's knee, to Kumasawa-san's ankle. Driven into each of them was something like a knife or a stake with a demonic design. They must have been the same as the thing that had pierced Jessica's back.
これは何なの？ジェシカちゃんの時と同じね。何かオカルトの儀式のつもりなのかしら。
わかりません。彼らの遺体を最後に見た時にはこのようなものはありませんでした。
I guess the epitaph doesn't say they have to be killed with the stakes. They just have to be gouged with
使
them.
用人室から運び出されたやられたのでしょう。
Anything can kill them. The one stuck into Dr. Nanjo's knee was still standing erect, but the one that had been thrust into Kumasawa-san's ankle might have been a little shallower. It had come out and fallen over. So, by looking at the one that had fallen over for the first time, I realized it wasn't a knife, but something like a stake. Its full length was probably about 30 centimeters. It was probably made out of bronze or iron or something of the sort. Even without touching it, I could tell it had some weight to it. It was composed of a grip and a cone-shaped part, and was obviously made to be a piercing weapon. Maybe it was like a miniature version of those lances Western knights used on horseback. Oh, dragoons. They can use the jump skill. The spiral... Malor Proto, thank you for following. Welcome to the Rose Rabbit Army. Your eternal servitude is now guaranteed and most welcome. The spiral-shaped ditches in it made it also look like a small drill. However, the grip had an occult design modeled off a demon or something. So instead of a weapon used in war, it felt like something that would be used in a ceremony to offer up living sacrifices.
間違いない。生贄。
There's no mistaking these stakes. I kill myself.
第7の番に膝をえぐりて殺せ。第8の番に足をえぐりて殺せ。
待てよ。それじゃ第4、5、6の番が抜けちゃう。
Well, we just haven't found those ones yet, maybe. Of course. Why is Genji-san alone? If something like this has happened, why are George-Aniki, Goda-san, and Shannon-chan here? Why was Genji-san alone?
どういうこと？ジョージ君たち3人はどこへ行ったの？
夏日奥様のお部屋を探し物に行きたいと言われました。まだお戻りになりません。
なんだって。
Oh no.
その出かけたってのはいつ頃の
I
話なんだ。
was kind of hoping that like there would be some twist to it. Like the cliffhanger that last scene ended on, like, George actually did pull out the mirror and it did something and it just faded to black to trick us. But I guess not. They're dead. They're dead.
2、3時間前のことだと思います。
そんな。なんでそんな大事なことを
I guess the mirror is actually useless.
なんで不審に思わなかったんだよ。
常に一人使用人は待機していなくてはなりません。彼らが戻るまで待機しているのは私の務めでした。
Was Genji really this much of a robot? This is bad, this is bad, it's really bad. Dr. Nanjo and Kumasawa were killed like this, which means that 3 people have already been killed. We ran toward Aunt Natsuhi's room. with a touch of anxiety and just as much resignation. Mecha Kenji? Mecha Genji? Is that like Mecha Hisui? Before we even saw the inside of Natsuhi's room, we were forced to resign ourselves to a certain fact. On that door was a bizarre scribble. No, filth? Anyway, the room wasn't in an ordinary state. Without even opening the door, we could imagine what we'd find inside. On the face of the door, how should I say it? Handprints done heavily with the same red paint as the magic circles from before. Had banged on the door, scratched it, dirtied it. It looked like the aftermath of a kindergartner playing in the mud. I didn't know what it could mean. The bright red paint that had been slathered on was dripping down, and even though no one said it, it made us think of blood.
Genji-san.
Oh, that's kind of like what happened in Natsuhi's room in the first episode, but that's because she had the protection thing. Aunt Rosa held her gun up high and ordered Genji-san to open the door. Genji-san approached it without seeming particularly troubled by the stuff on it and turned the knob, but immediately turned around, shaking his head. It was locked. Oh boy! Yet another locked room! At that moment, there was only one person in this mansion who could lock and unlock doors at will, Aunt Rosa. This time, Genji-san asked Aunt Rosa to unlock the door instead of the other way around. After frowning slightly for a second, Aunt Rosa handed me a master key and told me to open the door. Everybody's just telling everyone else to open the door.
そのくらいのこと、ケンジさんを信用しても。
Aunt Rosa glared at me intensely and also held up the gun, very threateningly. Getting into a fight here would only make the mood turn even more sour. Without talking back anymore, I approached that creepy door and tried the knob. Yeah, all Beatrice has so far is locked room mysteries. Can we do a different kind of mystery? It didn't open. It was definitely the resistance of the lock. Beato moment is impending? There's always an impending Beato moment. I stuck the master key into the keyhole. There was a slight resistance. Aunt Rosa told me to be on my guard, and I opened the door without really guarding myself in any way. I'm sure it'll be great. It'll be fine. And then, there was a scene laid out before us that didn't betray my expectations at all. They're all dead. Have fun at the gay bar, Sweet Creamy. Thank you for watching while you could. That's right, Class Visual. Modern witches only know locked rooms, eating hot chips, and lying. And we support them. We support girl boss witches. The inside of the room looked as though a robber had just broken in. Drawers had been flung open, pulled out, and had their contents thrown about all over the place, leaving the room so cluttered you'd never believe it belonged to the methodical Aunt Natsui. But the very first thing that caught our eyes was Goda-san's corpse lying face down right in front of the door. Right in the center of his chest, almost as though it had been struck there to finish off a vampire, was one of those demon stakes from before. No vampires. That's the other visual novel. It's the wrong visual novel. Exactly how far could it have reached before being stuck that deeply into his chest? Just imagining it would make anyone's chest hurt. Ooh. Maria grabbed my hand. Her expression looked just like normal, but maybe she really was afraid of the aura in this room where 3 corpses lay. And along the wall farthest into the room, George Aniki lay dead. This time, one of those stakes had been rammed right into the center of his stomach. Ah, so much for George. Wasn't gouging the stomach the 6th twilight? Shannon-chan's corpse was face down in front of the dresser, lying in a sea of blood. Had she seen her own face at the end, in that horribly broken mirror stained with blood? Because she was lying that way, I couldn't see her face, but I could guess even without seeing it. Nearby, in the sea of the blood she lay in, a demon stake had fallen. Only the 4th twilight was left. gouged the head and kill. Maybe my heart was totally worn out and dead. Even though I knew it was wrong, I lifted her head and checked, and I confirmed that my guess had been right on the mark. Gross. There's a big hole in that. There was a gaping hole in Shannon Chan's head, and the insides were dripping out. Ew, brains! Not only that, but you could even see inside her. After seeing that, I finally realized I was doing something wrong. I immediately averted my eyes, but by now it was probably pointless. That's totally gonna happen. Yes, the police will definitely be here. Just like they did in the last episode. Aunt Rosa got violently mad at me and even tugged at the back of my collar. See, we denote movement with PowerPoint transitions here. I tottered limply and fell on my butt, gazing dimly at the ceiling.
マリア、これで第8の番まで終わっちまったな。第9の番って
第9の番に魔女は蘇る。
Oh boy.
誰も生き残れば死ぬ。
Everybody dies again.
そっか。これで黄金の魔女ベアトリーチャー、そしてなんだ、最後の第10の番。
第10の番に旅は終わり、黄金の里に至るだろう。黄金鏡の扉はもうすぐ開かれるんだよ。
Gotta play that continuous spell
もう
card.
すぐ。
魔女は蘇り、誰も生き残れはしない。俺たちはこれから死ぬのか、それともこれで生贄の儀式は終了で。
I feel like it's that first thing.
俺たちの
Knowing what we know about the first episode.
何が俺たちの旅だ。俺たちは今日一日犯人を見つけよう。事態を打開しようと
I
散々
know.
頭をひねって。
We did it again, Battler. You did it again, you absolute moron. You're supposed to solve the puzzle, and you did everything but 2 times in a row.
休むに似たりってやつだ。そうさ。俺たちは今日一日ずっと憎悪と
It
疑
keeps
心を持って
happening.
自
I
分を
warned
焼き
you
殺
about
し
the
た。
stairs, bro.
死んだ人間しか信用できないって言ってわざわざ3人の死に顔をここまで確認に来たんです。こんな俺たちがどうして黄金鏡とやらにたどり着けるっていうのね。
We don't even know what the Golden Land really is. That's right. We couldn't resolve any of our problems anyway. It would have been so much better if we'd locked ourselves up the whole time without thinking at all. Grandfather's the wisest of us. He's been shut up in this room since yesterday without any contact with anyone. That was the right decision. Oh yeah, I guess Kinzo still has to be alive then, huh? Grandfather was the most correct of us all. If all the sacrifices are dead, then I guess Kinzo made it through it this time.
マリアといれば大丈夫。
I wonder if we'll see him in a
魔
bit.
女はとても気まぐれで、時に面白
He doesn't really have any reason to be hiding anymore.
恐ろしい存在だけれど。
But only sometimes.
でも、マリアと一
She
緒
only
にいれば
kills for fun
絶対に
sometimes.
大丈夫。
Therefore, it's okay. I'm being unironic. It is okay. I think it's okay to kill humans sometimes for fun.
ありがとな。気がするな。嬉しいぜ。
After Aunt Rosa finished investigating their corpses, she announced that she'd seal his room again. Chased the rest of us out, stole back the master key she lent me, and locked the door again. Apparently, George Aniki had been holding the key to Aunt Natsuhi's room. Pyropoyo, thanks for the resub. Hello, my name is Ushiramiya Battler. I got owned once by a hot blonde with a husky voice and big tits, and I haven't been on top since. This is my story. That's correct. That seems like a good summation. Thank you, Pyropoyo. Apparently, George Aniki had been holding the key to Aunt Natsuhi's room. She also collected that. Wait a sec. She's got all of the master keys on her person. If Natsuhi's own key was locked up inside this room, doesn't that make it another closed room? So what, is this the 4th closed room? I know, there's so many! Get a new trick, Beato. I demand it. If you have the power to resurrect the dead endlessly, does killing really matter anymore? That is a deep ethical question, Collapse Vigil. Much fiction and essays have been written about such a quandary. I don't really care, I just think you can kill people for fun. Now that the suspicions surrounding those 3 had been cleared, we return to the parlor once more. I don't have a clue what's going on anymore. If only the dead are innocent and everyone else is a wolf, that leaves only me, Aunt Rosa, Maria, and Genji-san. And besides us, there's only Grandfather and that 19th person, the guest we've seen no traces of, Beatrice. 13 people have died, and 6 are left. How would a wolves and sheep puzzle with only 6 people end? Even though a puzzle that started with 19 people has been reduced to 6, I can't think of an answer. We return to the parlor. I was a bit worried that, while we were gone, a creepy magic circle or something might have been drawn on the parlor door, but thankfully we didn't find anything like that.
ありがとう、源氏さん。ここまでで結構よ。あなたも今日は休んでください。
It still hurts to get murdered? Well, of course, that's part of the fun. I feel like I should be able to murder my enemies over and over again. I think that should be a thing I'm allowed to do.
これで休ませていただきます。
I mean, really, it doesn't matter what I'm allowed to do. I can do whatever I want.
この状況下で源氏さんをたった一人で過ごさせるっていうのかよ。
そうね。とても危険なことだと思うわ。でも、ならなぜ彼は無事なの？彼は3人が夏日姉さんの部屋へ向かった後、ずっと一人でいた。なのに無事だった。狼と羊のパズルよ。最も弱い立場となる孤立した羊が無事な理由は何？
Because the wolf wasn't around. There was no wolf.
狼がたまたまいなかったんだろ。
Exactly, that's what I said.
違うわ。それが羊じゃなかったからよ。
源氏さんが狼だっていうのかよ。
I know, Rosa really does have a thing for this wolf and sheep puzzle.
彼は一人で厨房にいたそうだけど、それは証明不能よ。南條先生たちの死体を運んだり、ジョージ君たちを殺したりできたのは彼かベアトリーチェだけなのよ。
待てよ。その論法じゃ誰だって。
バトラ様、お気遣いをありがとうございます。私は信頼を勝ち得るのは常に。
Well, I don't think that's true, considering you were faithful for like 50 years, and then Maria tossed you out immediately.
たとえ信頼をいただけなくても、私は最後まで
Alright, I guess he just doesn't care. I guess he just doesn't care.
源氏さん。
なら決まりね。あなたが本当に無実なら、それは明日やってくる警察が証明してくれるわ。だから、それまでの間、あなたを疑いから外すわけにはいかない。長年、後宮家に仕えてくれたあなたに、こんな仕打ちをするのは本当に心苦しいんだけれど、今夜は分かってください。そして、明日になったら、もう一度仲直りさせてください。
Yep, we can do that, sure. Genji-san gave his head a small shake.
今日も明日も、私は後宮家の使用人であり続けます。ご用がありましたら、いつでもお申し付けください。それでは。
Now that's job dedication right there. I need you all to be that dedicated to me specifically. After hearing all that, there was nothing left to say. Genji-san bowed deeply and left down the hall. Then we entered the room. Even though Aunt Rosa still held all of the master keys herself, she thoroughly checked the inside of the parlor again. She opened the curtains and checked again to make sure the windows were locked. That's the spirit, Asmodem. That's what I love to hear. As I watched, how should I say it, I felt like it didn't really matter anymore. If I said anything careless, it would turn into another fight. For a while, I gazed at her from the corridor, figured I'd waited just about long enough, and entered the parlor behind her. She doesn't trust anyone but the dead. Why doesn't she just go around killing everyone with the gun she's got in her hand? And then, in the end, she'll realize that she, herself, is the wolf. Then she can just blast through the head of the final wolf and close the curtain on this insane murder drama. That's pretty hardcore, Battler. As I thought that briefly, I returned to the sofa. Bitterly? Bitterly, not briefly. As I thought that bitterly, I returned to the sofa where I'd been encamped before, rudely resting both of my feet on the table. When I tried to do that, I found something there and stopped moving my feet.
なんだ
That sounds pretty useful to me, Asmodem. I love having minions that explode that I can throw at people. That's a good henchman power. Right there, almost as though it had been addressed to me, was a Western envelope. It was that envelope from before with the seal of the one-winged angel. Da-da-da. And it was unopened. Wait. What is this? Who put it in a place like this, and when? Until I went with everyone to check the corpses, I was sitting here the whole time. And there wasn't anything there then. And when I returned, it was here.
大丈夫。戸締まりに問題はないわ。この部屋は安全よ。
I heard Rosa muttering that. Wait. We made sure this room was safe when we left it. We checked that the windows were all perfectly locked. Then we locked it up, came back, and the windows were still locked. Then, wait, who put this letter here and how? I opened the letter. 2 pieces of stationery came out. The first page had a magical circle drawn on it and something with blood. With something like blood. I asked Maria, she'd probably know what it meant. And there was writing on the other page. Have you made progress in solving the epitaph? In just a short while, your time will be up in a flash. The 9th twilight will begin quite soon. There was no mistake. It was a letter from Beatrice.
ほうバトラーそれは
ああ
Thinking time.
今ここに来たら
When you hear the new type flash, it's time to think hard.
どうしたのマリア。バトラ君、その手紙は。
いやここに置いてあったんだ。どうしてだよ。この部屋はちゃんと戸締まりをしていたのに。
I know, how mysterious.
どうしてだよ。どうして。
どうして。
マリア、いらっしゃい。
Aunt Rosa closed her eyes just a little, and after thinking silently for a moment, told Maria to come. Maria obeyed her mother's words. As she did, something unbelievable happened. Aunt Rosa pointed the barrel of that gun at me.
バトラ君、あなたを狼だと断定する
Oh
わ。
boy. Classic Maria. Rosa, I mean. I think this is a new song we haven't heard before. It's pretty good.
私はこの部屋にたった今帰ってきて、そのテーブルの上に何もないことを見ている。そしてマリアがそのテーブルに近づいていないことも知っている。わずかな時間よ。でもこのテーブルに近づき、そして手紙を見つけたと主張するのはあなただけなのよ。
そんなのって。いや、めちゃくちゃだ。なんで俺がこんなものを置くんだよ。おいおい、俺は不審なものを見つけて報告しただけだぜ。
So, you want me to see the sprite for this battler? Okay. Wow, that's really intense. Also, Maria's why do I keep saying Maria when I mean Rosa? Rosa's a lot shorter here. He's really upset. Oh my goodness. Actually, I wanted to check the characters. His corpse, which had gone missing, was later found in the courtyard. This is Nanjo. At that time, it had a weapon shaped like a stake rammed into the knee. With this, the 7th twilight is finished. George died in Natsuhi's room with his stomach pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the 6th twilight, gouged the stomach and kill. It was possible that they would have ended up as the 2nd twilight. Died in Natsuhi's room with her forehead pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the 4th twilight, gouged the head and kill. She spent her last moments with her beloved. Died in Natsuhi's room with his chest pierced by a weapon shaped like a stake. At the 5th twilight, gouged the chest and kill. The cook was cooked. Servant Kumasawa, her corpse, which was gone missing, was later found in the courtyard. At that time, it had a weapon shaped like a stake rammed into its ankle. With this, even the 8th twilight is finished. Alright, now we know about that.
なんで俺が疑われるんだよ。
あなたにしかその手紙を
Oh
そこ
boy.
へ置けないからよ。そう。これは
Remember
自作
from the
自演
first episode that Triforce looking sigil was the one that is meant to sow discord among allies, get them to distrust each
あ
other.
なたが懐から封筒を取り出し、たった今見つけたかのように振る舞った。密室の中に魔女が入って手紙を置いていった幻想を作り出すためにね。
バカ野郎。またそういう考えなのかよ。
I'm good at remembering this stuff? Why, thank you.
そんなことで俺まで疑うのかよ。
I'm glad Battler's just like given up on trying to be nice to Rose at this
いい加減に
point.
しろ。俺は親父たちを殺されてるんだぞ。そんな俺がどうして犯人の片棒を担がなければならないんだよ。
そうね。たとえ莫大なお金がもらえるとしたとしても、そんなことで肉親の命を切り売り
My
できる
brain
ような
is
悪魔がいるなん
huge,
て
it's
信
true.
じたくないわ。
I am literally the smartest person ever to exist.
いるかもしれない。言い方が悪いわね。例えば、バトラ君にとってルドルフ兄さん
What if I
たち
just
が
made
親
up
で
a
なかったとしても
motivation for you right now?
ああ、何を言い出すかと思えば親父は親父だろうが。確かにキリエさんと血縁はねえが、俺の姉貴も同然のお人だ。そこだけは聞き捨てならねえぞ、この野郎。
No, don't be mean to my horrible bitch mother.
言うのをやめなさい。ごめんなさい。言い方が悪かったわね。
I don't think you're sorry at all.
後ろ宮バトラ君はルドルフ兄さんの子供かもしれない。でもあなた本当にルドルフ兄さんの
He's
息子のバトラ
she's saying he looks kind of sus, a little sussy.
何をわけのわかんねえこと。俺がバトラーじゃねえんなら誰に見えるってんだよ。
ルドルフ兄さんも含めて私たちは6年ぶりにあなたを再会しているわ。あなたが本当に後ろ宮バトラかなんて
What?
誰も証明できないのよ。
What is someone else kill Battler and replace him at some point? This is insane.
あなたは本当は
You dumb
後ろ宮
bitch.
バトラじゃなくて後ろ宮家の財産をうまく騙し取ろうと紛れ込んだ何
This
者
is
か
the
かも
dumbest
しれ
shit
ない。
I ever heard.
あなた自分が後ろ宮バトラだとはっきり証明できる。今この場で。
いい加減にしやがれ。俺は俺だ。
I mean, he
後ろ宮バトラ
says.
だ。そこまで疑い出したらあんただって本当に後ろ宮ローザなのかよ。自分は自分だ、他の誰でもね。ああそうだな、あんたの言う通りだぜ。死体以外で信用できるのは自分だけってわけだ。そこまで言うなら反論させてもらうぜ。
Objection.
ジョージの兄貴たちが死んでいた夏日おばさんの部屋に鍵がかかってた。部屋の鍵はジョージの兄貴が持っていたんだろう。そしてマスターキーを持ってるのは今やローザおばさんだけだ。
I like how Battler was like so reluctant to blame anyone for he knows that he had like snapped over it earlier, and now he's like snapped again and just like, fine, fuck you, Rosa. It could have been you.
あんたは真犯人と通じ合っていて、俺たちの目を盗み、5つのマスターキーのうちの1つをこっそり貸し出したんだ。
そんなことしないわよ。ほら、ここに5つあるわよ。
そんなのは当てになるもんか。あらかじめ取り決めた場所に置かせて回収したかもしれねえじゃねえかよ。それにマスターキーが5個かどうかは疑わしいと言ってたのはあんただぜ。
じゃああなたはその封筒をあなた以外の誰がどうやってそこに置いたというの？
Yeah, I don't think Battler cares that she's the one with the gun. Excuse me, something went down the wrong pipe. What the?
それが証明できない限り、あなたが狼なのよ。
うるせえ。
うるせえ。
ならあんたこそ証明しろよ。犯人はどうやってジョージの兄貴たちをあの密室で殺したと言うんだよ。
I like how he's doing the objection pose while crying.
どうやって施錠したと言うんだよ。
まったくにもってその通り。
We're back in the debate dimension.
夏日の部屋も全く同じだぞ、いつもの通り。扉も窓も内側から施錠されていた。いかなるイカ様も細工もなく、そして隠された通行手段もなければ隠れる場所もない。夏日自身の鍵はジョージのポケットに入って室内に閉じ込められていた。あとは5本のマスターキーしかないが、それは全てローザが持っている。
Why is Rosa in like quotes like that?
ついでに言おう、その客間も同じよ。本来の客間の鍵は使用人室に封印されている。だからマスターキー以外では解錠不能。部屋の密室定義もいつもに同じよ。おいおい、容疑者はもう一人しかいねえぞ。それでもまだかまととぶんのかよ。
後ろ見やバトラ
うるせえ。てめえも黙ってろ。
They're just yelling at each other.
黙るのはあなたの方でしょう。あなた以外にどうやってその手紙を置けたというの？それが証明できない限り、あなたは狼なのよ。
俺が疑えるってんならあんただって疑えるぜ。
They're just yelling back and forth the same thing. Show me proof. No, show me
最初に
proof.
部屋に入って戸締まりの確認だのを始めたのはローザおばさんじゃねえかよ。そして俺の座っていた場所に再び俺が戻るだろうことを見越し、これはあんたの罠だって疑うこともできるんだぜ。
どうして私がそんな罠を？
It is a little among yes. Yes, anything where people kill each other and get suspicious of each other, that's among us.
私が狼ならこの銃で問答無用で撃ってるわよ。
そんなのじゃ理由にならねえな。マリアの目の前で殺人ができねえから、うまく罠にかけようって回りくどいことしてるかもしれねえじゃねえか。マスターキーは全てあんたの手にある。ならここもさっきも全部あんたの仕業じゃねえかよ。言い逃れできるってんなら言い訳を聞かせてみろよ。そうさ、ローザおばさんは最初から怪しいんだよ。なんで親族会議の大人たちが6人殺されたのにローザおばさんだけが
That
例
is a little
外なんだ。
suspicious, isn't it?
なんでローザおばさんだけがあの礼拝堂にいなかったんだ。一つしか理由がねえよ。ローザおばさんが親父たちをあそこ
I
に
know,
招
he
いて
does
殺
have
した
so
ん
many
だ。
crying sprites. It's hilarious.
くそ、それで全部説明がつくじゃねえかよ。ふざけんじゃねえ、ふざけんじゃねえ。わけのわかんねえことを言うんじゃねえ。
Awesome. An awesome breakdown, Battler. I love it. It's delicious. It's all that funny witch.
これは全部魔女がやったんだもん。魔法でやったんだもん。
It's magic. Maria thrust herself in between Aunt Rosa and me as the blood started rising to our heads. I was taken aback by Maria's crying voice and returned to my senses. I had acted shamefully just now. My eyes filled with tears.
そうなんだよ。全部
Your eyes are always full of tears, Battler.
魔女のせいだったんじゃないかよ。鍵がどうこうとか、トリックだのアリバイだの、全部バカらしかったんだ。魔女の仕業なのに、俺たちは同じ人間同士を信じ合うこともできなくて。なあ、ローザおばさん。人間の犯人なんて最初からいなかったんだ。全部魔女の仕業だったんだ。だからローザおばさんが犯人のわけがないし、俺やマリアだって、そしてゲンジさんだって他のみんなだって、どうしてこんなことに。俺はどうして大好きだったローザおばさんとこんなことの怒鳴り合いをしてるんだよ。優しくって大好きだったおばさんとどうしてこんな罵り合いをしてるんだよ。なんでみんなで疑い合わなくちゃならねえんだよ。
Oh, life is so hard.
おばさんを疑ってなんかいないんだ。誰も疑ってなんかないんだ。全部魔女の仕業だったんだ。ベアトリーチの仕業だったんだ。全部ベアトリーチが魔法で行った事件だった。
Magic is real. I admit it, so I don't have to be mad at
ベアト
anyone.
リーチ頼むからここに現れてくれよ。そして自分が全てやったと俺たちに告白してくれよ。もうごめんだ。こんな疑り合いはごめんなんだ。だから俺たちを許してくれ。
I can't believe he broke less than... He broke not even all the way through the second episode. He's such a
俺
wimp.
に優しい親戚たちを、いとこたちを返してくれよ。もう嫌だ、全部嫌だ。お前は確かに実在する。お前姿を見せ。ベアトリーチ
That was very long. That was a long yell. I don't think she's showing up though.
私はまだ
Meanwhile,
生きているのか。
Kinzo was taking a nap, I guess. Oh, I was joking. Apparently, some time ago, Kinzo had fallen into a doze. He searched for his spectacles and looked at the clock. It was 10 p.m.
あやつの儀式はあってどこまで進んだのか。時間的にはもうだいぶ進んでいなくて
Kinzo was just taking a
はな
nap
らぬ
this whole
頃
time.
だ。
Kinzo lifted his heavy body from the chair and approached the portrait of the witch that he had gazed at every day.
ベアトリーチェ、
Beatrice!
もうじきお前の微笑みに再会できる。死んでもいい。お前の微笑みがもう一度見られるならこの命は惜しくない。
He's not gonna let himself be outdone by Battler a scene ago.
交渉だ。お前にもう一度会わせてくれ。そして愛を誓わせておくれ。私の罪を謝らせておくれ。ああ、だが逃がさん。お前は私のものだ。
髪の毛の一本からつま先まで爪の赤す
That's a
ら
little
も
okay.
私のものなのだ。
It's a little weird, Kinzo.
お前の肉一片までも全て私のもので、その亡骸の煮汁まで私のものなのだ。逃がさん、今度こそこの手からこぼさん。
The broth of your corpse. That doesn't sound appetizing at all.
二度と逃がすものか。
Kinzo howled in rage, then suddenly fell to his knees as he shook and scraped at the wall. In an instant, he had started sobbing. The mood swings are quite severe.
頼む、もう一度会わせてくれ。謝らせてくれるだけでいい。ベアトリーチェ。
This man is not well. What gave you a hint?
お前が愛しい恋しい。私が間違っていた。お前が微笑んでさえくれれば、他には何もいらない。
Yeah, I really love Kinzo's voice acting. It's so good.
私が間違えた。私がそれを間違えて、取り返しのつかないことをしてしまった。その償いに残りの全ての
Another really funny
人生を
face.
捧げた。お前に詫びるために、私の罪を償うために、全て捧げたんだ。頼む。私の死の際でもいい。
He does have some kaiju-like voice energy, doesn't he? With the way those characters, like, freak out.
お前に一言謝らせて。ベアトリーチェ。
As Kinzo shook and cried, a butterfly appeared out of nowhere behind his small back like a flake of gold leaf, and softly descended. You fool, Kinzo. Did you think any of women out there would fall for a man's tears? Well, even if it wouldn't make a human woman fall for you, it might do the trick for a woman who is not human. Kinzo, do you remember that game of chess you played with me, which is still ongoing? Kinzo, as though he had suddenly remembered something, approached the chess set. It was as it had been during the game he'd played with Nanjo until yesterday. After knocking all the pieces off the chessboard, he began to line them up again, one by one. It was a setup for an ongoing game.
そうだ、こうだ。私はクイーンを勧めた。とても良い名手だった。お前には少々きつすぎるかもしれん一手だった。お前は駒を見捨てるか見捨てないかに
The chess metaphors are also now sex metaphors. Genius. Genius, Ryakishi. Kinzo waited with the opposite seat empty. Surely, very soon, his opponent would appear there and he would be able to restart this game again. You fool, Kinzo. You want to apologize? You want to see my face again? You want to make my smile an eternal thing? Why can't you say a much, much simpler word, even though that is the sole element of this world? Without love, it cannot be seen. At that time, Kinzo muttered. Was it a prayer? An entreaty? It was probably best to just call it muttering.
お前を
There, yeah, he did it. He said that thing.
ベアトリーチェ
Congratulations, Kenzo, you're like 60 years late. They were pure words, like something an innocent child would say, without any evil intent. You really are a fool, Kenzo. If you have ever had the chance to do your life over again, know that those words will never cause a woman to fall for you. That's right, not unless a miracle happens. That's what makes this. At that moment, Kenzo definitely heard a small knock, one with a tempo that differed from those of the servants.
誰だ
The woman beyond the door didn't answer.
誰かと聞いておる返事をせるな
Yeah, she's telling Kenzo he stacks no paper and gets no bitches. All his paper came from her. The woman beyond the door did not answer.
まさかまさかベアトリーチェなのかベアトリーチェベアトリーチェ
The woman beyond the door answered. On the 9th twilight, the witch shall revive, and none shall be left alive. Alright, well, that's cool. Ah, it's so big. 12 o'clock, baby, almost. It's like 11:35. We're almost there. Battler's figure was in the dining hall. He didn't feel like going back to the guest house in the middle of all of this rain, and wandered half-heartedly around the mansion in search for any place where he could sit before setting up camp in the dining hall. He didn't even lock the door. He thought the shapeless murderer, or maybe the Golden Witch, might come to kill him now that he was isolated, but he no longer had any desire to resist. He didn't even feel like using a locked door to hold off the culprit. He wanted that person to come at him openly from the front. If it was the killer, he wanted to ask them about some of those wonderful closed room tricks as a parting gift. If it was the witch, he'd hoped she'd at least take his life with some spectacular magic. However, ironically, neither of these two came to meet him. Battler opened the liquor cabinet on his own and enjoyed the liquor to his heart's content. At least it's not absinthe, probably. No longer was there anyone to scold him for drinking alcohol. This dude is so defeated. The mind break tag is being applied. He boldly rested his legs on the extravagant tablecloth and savored the high-quality liquor, which probably had a mind-boggling price, drinking it down straight from the bottle. I actually don't think 18 is underage drinking in Japan. I think the drinking age in Japan is 18. Then, someone knocked. Battler realized that someone had finally come to greet him. Japan is 20? Oh, I thought it was 18. No, Battler is 18.
自己紹介を頼むぜ。人間なら名前を名乗ってくれ。ベアトリーチェだってんなら、3サイズを教えてくれ。
You could have asked that the whole time. You've been talking to her in the debate dimension. I guess he was too scared. Now he's liquored up. He's got that courage in him.
ちょいと知られたおっぱいソムリエなんだぜ。
A breast sommelier.
源氏でございます。バトラさん。
源氏さんか。
That was some embarrassing stuff you just said, Battler-sama. I'll ignore it, though.
悪いが、あんたのバストのサイズに興味はねえな。
I like breast sommelier a lot more than titty expert.
入ってくれよ。空いてるぜ。
What about the chesticle connoisseur? Genji opened the door and bowed. The booby bandit. So, is Genji the criminal after all? Or maybe an accomplice? Saying chesticle should get you put on a list? I think it sounds funny. I would never say it to like a real person, I just think it's a funny sounding word. Battler absolutely has a female body inspector t-shirt. That's funny. He would, yes.
あんたが俺に引導を渡しに来たのかい？
そのようなことはございません。お邪魔なようでしたら失礼いたします。
おいおい。
Genji
要
moment.
件も伝えず失礼しますじゃ。
Can you do more cool knife throwing tricks, Genji?
何の用だよ。最後くらい好きにさせてくれ。
バトラ様は死せる最後のわずかな時間をそのように怠惰に過ごされることを
There's not much else to do. Those words pierced me. That wasn't true.
今さら何ができるってんだ。
He cannot cope. He can seethe, but he can't
俺はい
cope
つだって
without alcohol.
死ぬ準備はできてるぜ。
親方様と同じですな。本当にあなたは親方様の血を色濃く
Yeah, they do
受け
say
継がれ
alcoholism is hereditary, don't they?
あの豪傑なじいさまが実はいつ死んでもいいと思ってたってのか。それは初耳だぜ。
親方様の人生はいくつかの悲しい出来事の末、すべて食材のためのものとなり果てた。
あんたは何を知っている？
Oh, boo-hoo, the wildly rich grandpa is sad.
ベアトリーチェ様の儀式も第8の晩までをすべて終えました。もうすべてをお話ししても
Oh, we're finally getting Genji explanations. I believe Genji slightly more than I believe other people, just because he's so straight-laced. He's like less insane than most other characters. As far as I can tell, that could change. My drunkenness was completely blown away. I lowered my feet from the table and listened carefully to what Genji would say next.
バトラ様、親方様の書斎へ
Yeah, I'm excited to learn some Genji lore.
親方様たちに直接お話を聞かれるのはよろしいでしょう。
じいさまたち。おい、それは一体どういう。
さあ、こちらへ。
Well, this should be
ご案内申
interesting.
し上げます。バトラ様。
After Genji-san told me to follow him, he started walking down the corridor. I threw my drunkenness off completely and went after him. We climbed a big staircase towards the 3rd floor. Genji-san stopped walking halfway. He then turned back and spoke.
バトラ様、これ理解できぬものを見るでしょう。
脅すなよ。
I like this song too. The piano is very nice.
理解できねえもんなら今日嫌になること
Genji,
な
I've
いし
seen a lot of dead people today.
見えるものを見えるがままに、聞こえるものを聞こえるがままに受け入れてくだ
That's
さい。
right, Battler. Don't question anything.
なぜも何も何も必要はありません。バトラ様はただ真実を知ることになるでしょう。それをお認めになるかお信じになるか、あるいは否定されるかも。すべてバトラ様にお任せ
Interesting that accept it and believe it are considered two different things by Genji. Genji-san checked one last time to see whether I was prepared to know the truth. The 8th twilight had already ended, and on the 9th twilight the witch would revive, and nobody would be left alive. It meant that Beatrice had already been revived, and it probably also meant that none of us would be allowed to return alive. If I was going to lose my life anyway, I wanted to know the truth in the end. It didn't matter how hard it might be to accept.
鬼が出ようと魔女が出ようと覚悟はできてるぜ。
本当にあなたは親方様の若き頃にそっくりだ。
I feel like being compared to Kinzo in any capacity is not favorable, but
どうかご
okay.
勉学にお励みを。あなたは将来必ずや大きな志を持たれるでしょ
Oh
う。
yeah, Genji like never breaks his expression. It's funny.
そしてその
He
時
has nothing to smile about.
足りぬ学力に一生後悔されることがありませんよ。
勉学に勤しめる機会がもらえるならぜひな。
Genji-san's silence felt like it was a further confirming a certain resigned feeling I had. Whoa! Woo! Wind! Spooky! And then the door to grandfather's study, surrounded by a sweet smell, came into sight. Genji-san took a gold key with an elegant design out from his pocket. The master keys had been confiscated by Aunt Rosa, but he'd kept this key to this study alone on his person. He put it in the keyhole, and it made a heavy clunking sound.
親方様、源氏です。バトラ様をお連れいたしました。
There was no reply, but it seemed that permission to go inside had been given.
さあ、バトラ様、どうぞ。お入り。
入るぜ。
I readied myself and threw the door open. Oh boy, what will we find in here? I'm sure it'll be delightful. At that moment, I got slightly disoriented by the dazzling golden glow. It was, unbelievably, a swarm of butterflies that shone like gold. That gold butterflies that completely filled the inside of the study poured out all at once.
なんだこりゃ。
It was almost like a golden leaf confetti. The interior of Grandfather's study was filled with a golden glow. And, on a sofa like a reception chair in front of the study desk, I could see Grandfather's back. There was someone on the opposite side from Grandfather. It was in shadow, so I couldn't see it well.
親方様、バトラ様をお連れしました。
バトラか。
It's funny, this is the first time Battler and Kinzo have, like, met in any way.
しばし沈黙せよ。
Kinzo declared that, unhappily, his back still turned. It seemed he was enjoying a chess game with a visitor. Apparently, the opponent had counterattacked with a superb move. Kinzo seemed to be enjoying himself as he thought deeply, while occasionally laughing and groaning.
30年考えた。この一手をどう切り返すか。30年
There she is, of course.
楽しめ。30年を寝かせた
Don't say
我が一
fermented.
手を
Just
楽
don't
し
use that word, please. I do think this Beatrice outfit is really cute.
まことにこの一手は味わい深き熟成された一手よ。楽しい楽しい。
You're having a good time, Kinzo. I'm glad for you. I'm glad you're having a good time.
かなわぬかなわぬ。
これはなんだってんだ。
来たかバトラー。しばらく待て。金蔵のために沈黙。
I like this song a lot
まだリザイン
too.
は早いぞ金蔵。わらわならもう数手は切り返せる。
It should have been my first meeting with that witch. However, I knew this witch. Even though it was our first meeting, I knew her from the portrait.
源氏。バトラー
So
の
this
ために
furthers
飲み
my
物を
belief
振る
that
舞え。
that the battler that debates with Beatrice in the debate dimension is like his knowledge and the battler in this story's knowledge are not the same.
この男によりふさわしきやつは何か。
Like they don't know everything each other knows.
若き日より親方様が愛されている。いつもあれ。
それが良いぞ。振る舞ってやれ。よくぞ来たな。後ろ宮バトラー。まずは座れ。そなたはわらわの名を 何度も呼んだ。
I could hear you yelling from all the way up here.
それに免じ、わらわとの面会を許した。そしてお前はわらわに何を聞く？何を尋ねるのか。黄金鏡の扉はもうじき開かれる。魔女たちを迎え入れてのわらわの復活を祝う宴はもうじきだ。
More witches.
それまでの間、お前の
As
問い
Madame
にいくら
redeemed
でも答えてやる。
insults, you're sauced up for this? What? Are you some sort of drunkard? You come into my chat full of liquor, and you just want me to say things to you? You think that's just something I will do for you? You're no better than those businessmen that get all drunk and then start hitting on the girls at the bar.
聞きてえことは山ほどある。この島で何が起こった？そしてどうしてこんな事件が起こった？密室についても聞きたい。礼拝堂は
There are many questions.
ジェシカの部屋は、シオニッサ、夏代おばさんの部屋は、そして客場は。聞きたいことはまだまだある。
There are many things to ask.
本当にベアトリーチは魔女なのか？何が目的だ？俺たちに何をさせたい？俺をなぜここへ呼んだんだ？
You're about to go full middle-aged Japanese businessman at the host club at 2 a.m. We'll see how that works out for you.
答えろ、すべてだ。
やかましい。問えば答えは変えるのか？
She said he could ask. What's your problem, old man? You geezer?
もろく儚い雲の巣もヘロデの王から守ってくれることもある。この世に無駄なものなどないように無駄な質問もまたない。よいよい、すべての質問に答えようぞ。ただし条件が一つだけある。
なんだ？
すべてを聞き、わらわの存在に納得できたならひざまずき。
Again with the
キ
shoes.
スをせよ。お前を屈服させたくてわらわはここへ呼びつけたのだから。わらわと金蔵は賭けをした。金蔵が次の手をひらめくのとわらわがそなたを屈服させるのと負ける気はせぬぞ。
でけえ口を叩きやがって。ああ、いいぜ。俺を納得させてみろよ。お前が間違いなく魔女様だ。不思議で素敵な大魔法を使えるって
Facts
こ
don't
とを
care
納
about
得
your
させてみろよ。
feelings, Beatrice.
屈服したならキスでも何でもくれてやる。
The witch cackled gloatingly. Then she glared at him unpleasantly with eyes that said a man can't go back on his word.
よくぞ言った。さて、どの問いから答えようか。すべて答えるぞ。さあ、まずは何からだ。
Why is it fading to black? Ah! Okay, then the witch started to tell everything. What? What? She began answering all of Battler's questions. Everything made sense. He was convinced by all of it. And then Battler had no choice to admit it. The witch certainly did exist. What followed is a story that needs no retelling. When the king falls and you are defeated, it's time to start reflecting on your finished game. And then all you can do is set up the pieces one more time. Alright, I guess that's just the end? Second game, Turn of the Golden Witch results. Ushiramiya Kraus died on the first twilight. Oh god, I gotta start reading fast again. Chosen by the Key of the Golden Land and offered up as a sacrifice. Ushiramiya Natsuhi died on the first twilight. Ushiramiya Eva died on the first twilight. Ushiramiya Hideyoshi died on the first twilight. Ushiramiya Rudolph died on the first twilight. Ushiramiya Kyrie died on the first twilight. Ushiramiya Jessica died on the second twilight, pierced through the back by the stake of Asmodeus. Servant Canon died on the second twilight, pierced through the chest by the stake of Satan. Servant Shannon died on the 4th twilight, forehead gouged by the stake of Mammon. Servant Goda died on the 5th twilight, chest gouged by the stake of Beelzebub. Ushiromiya George died on the 6th twilight, stomach gouged by the stake of Lucifer. Finally, Dr. Nanjo died on the 7th twilight, knee gouged by the stake of Belphegor. Servant Kumasawa died on the 8th twilight, leg gouged by the stake of Leviathan. The witch Beatrice revived on the 9th twilight. She finally opens the door to the Golden Land. Kinzo, missing on the 10th twilight. After he acknowledged the existence of the witch and prostrated himself, the witch invited him to the Golden Land. Rosa. The witch did not invite this woman who denied the witch's existence. Okay, so Maria and Genji. Ushiromiya Battler, missing on the 10th twilight. Will he acknowledge the witch's existence and be invited to the Golden Land? The witch shall praise the wise and bestow 4 treasures of the Golden Land. There they chose to revive the dead. After all, their desire could not have been able to receive it. Kinzo chose the person he had loved and lost. Maria chose the lost love of her mother. Genji chose a peaceful sleep. Sleep peacefully, Beatrice. Let nothing disturb your slumber ever again. The winner is the Golden Witch Beatrice, because time ran out before any of the 18 could solve the riddle of the gold. All 18 died. When the seagulls cried, none were left alive. That's the end of the 2nd episode. I think it is hilarious that Genji just wants to go to sleep. He's had enough. But don't leave yet. We still got the tea parties. The tea parties follow every episode. Wait.
どこなの？
Wait, it's not midnight yet. What's going on?
姿を見せなさい。ベアトリーチェ！
Rosa finally arrived at the chapel. She pointed her gun around her, screaming the witch's name, but there was no way she would receive an answer. Okay, I guess we're not done yet. After grimacing slightly, she noisily approached the table where her siblings' corpses still lay exposed and stretched out her arm towards a gold ingot. It was very heavy, but Rosa didn't mind. She wrapped that one up in a blanket and threw it over her shoulder.
せめてこの一つだけでも。
What?
これだけでも1000万以上の価値があるはず。
She's just gonna take it and ditch the whole thing? Without letting go of her gun, Rosa picked up the gold as well. Her shoulders were screaming, but Rosa didn't mind. Oh, okay, Maria's still here.
もうすぐだね。もうすぐ黄金鏡の扉が開く。
その気持ち悪い声で笑うのをやめなさい。ベアトリーチェはどこにいるの？ええ、分かってるわ。
Sure.
どこかにいるんでしょ？あなたは知ってるんでしょ？どこ？
知らない。探さなくても。
I didn't expect us to go back in after the credits. Bonk.
その笑いをやめなさい。私が笑いたいくらいよ。そうね。あれは間違いなく魔女だったわ。間違いなく魔女だった。私は分かってなかった。魔
Uh-oh.
女を名乗る人間だと
You
信じてた。
shouldn't be saying that
違う。
thing.
あれは本当
You
に
shouldn't
魔
be
女
saying
だっ
that.
た。私はあんなのにごまかされないわよ。いるんでしょ？出てきなさい。姿を現しなさい。ベアトリーチェ！
だからもうすぐ現れるよ。
Yeah, it's weird. The credits said she didn't accept it, but I don't know. I guess we'll find
黄金鏡
out.
の扉が開かれるよ。
I don't know what's going on anymore.
そうだ、それでよかったのだ。構わぬ、ルークを捨てるぞ。持てるものすべてを失う覚悟がなければ至ることもできぬキングが
What did he mean by this?
女なのだ。追い詰めるぞ。
Beatrice! I'm glad he's having fun. You see, look at him. Listen to that laugh. He's having a great time.
せめてクイーンと言え。ほう、なかなかに妙手。 諦めの悪さがそなたの。いや、後ろ宮の地下。
心地よし、実に優雅な夜だ。うわ
親方様、ベアトリーチェ様、そろそろ宴の時間で
The banquet.
もうか。早い。お前と過ごす夜はいつも早く、月がリンゴのように落ち、川もより
That's very beautiful, man. That's some great poetry.
日が昇るのだ。
行こうではないか。時間だ。立て、バトル。わらわの復活を祝う宴の始まりだ。わらわの新しい家
Yo?
具。いや、玩具として紹介しようぞ。俺キレキの魔女たち。
The witch was relaxing elegantly, her feet thrown out from the sofa and resting on top of a footrest. However, the footrest wasn't part of the sofa, but a human. A human down on all fours.
ベアトリーチェ様、お召し替えのドレスで
This dude is so... Oh no! Oh, so good.
主賓はお前だが、ホストは私だ。私は先に出ていよう。
Oh, now you leave your room.
着付けの手伝いにシャノンでもおればよかったが、あいにく残れなかったようだな。使いたい時にいつもおらん。
Hey, could you phrase that
つ
differently?
くづく使えんやつが。しかし、お前はよく残ってくれた。嬉しいぞ、我が友よ。
ありがたいお言葉です。
よい、二人とも先に下で待て。源氏、ご苦労。そのドレスはそこへ置いていけ。
かしこまりました。それでは親方様、
我らは先に行こう。ベアトリーチェ、後ほどな。
Kenzo and Genji left the study. After that, the witch and the dress and the furniture remained.
なぜわらわがそなたに肌を見せることを恥じぬかわかるか。そなたは家具だからだ。家具。
Kagu.
わかるか。家具だよ、家具。家具に体をさらして恥じる者がどこにいよう。だからお前にわらわは恥じる必要がない。
The witch rose and her jacket slipped off just from her shoulders. After that, the jacket fell to the ground with a thump. When the furniture respectfully approached to pick up those clothes, the witch gave it a small kick and it fell over. The furniture was afraid of what misconduct it might have shown.
そなたは家具の分際でわらわに自らボタンを外させるつもりなのか。立て、そしてこのボタンを外せ。一つずつ丁寧、早く、美しく、粗相なく。客人たちを待たせてしま
No,
う。
I absolutely do not want to see Ryakishi draw naked people. No, thank you.
丁寧に外すのだぞ。そなたの目玉一つよりも高価なボタンであるぞ。間違ってちぎるようなことがあったなら、代わりにそなたの目玉を縫い付けてやる。
Now this is the life. Beatrice has got it made here. Which one of you wants to volunteer to be furniture next? Who wants to be my footrest? The entrance hall was bustling with a crowd of shadowy people. and it sparkled gold with the gold butterflies lying about. The gentlemen in suits and tuxedos and the ladies in dresses looked like they were having a great number of friendly chats. At a glance, it might have looked like a fabulous medieval ball. But they all had one thing in common, and that thing was exceedingly bizarre, because all of them had goat heads. Was it a goat mask masquerade, or did they really have goat heads? It probably couldn't be the latter, but in this bizarre world, I really didn't know which was true. You have pride, deity? Why are you here? Why did you volunteer for servitude to me? I don't have use for people with pride. Kinzo was amongst those goat nobles, greeting them. Kinzo's greetings were more respectful than would have been expected, as these were all honored guests. At that time, Genji's voice rang out through the hall. It was a voice causing for silence. That voice stopped for idle chatter, and everyone else turned to face Genji. Except, yes, that's the one pride I'll allow you to have, Hatsune Marvin, of course.
ベアトリーチェ教のご入場でございます。皆様、拍手をもってどうかお迎えください。
When Genji began to applaud, it quickly spread through the guests and became a roaring ovation. Then, the Golden Witch appeared from the top of the large staircase. As she gratefully waved her hand, followed by a piece of furniture she was fond of, she slowly descended the staircase. The goat nobles offered unanimous words of celebration in some long-forgotten language. And those who were deeply intimate embraced, filled with joy at the reunion. As the witch offered greetings of reunion, the witch's furniture followed behind her the whole time. There was a chain around its neck. Oh, is this the My E-Girl lets me out of the cellar scene? The other end was gripped in the witch's hand like it was a trained dog. It was there to restrain him. Those chains were a restraining device whose only purpose was to wound the furniture's dignity. He wasn't permitted to wear anything else on his body. One of the young women goats mixed in with the goat nobles. Quietly removed her goat mask as the furniture passed in front of her, and she spoke with eyes that had no light in them. That face seemed to belong to a long-haired young girl.
Oh, Berun Castle kyo.
Hi, Burn Castle. Yeah, there's. Here, I'll put it in. Here. There we go. There's Battler, ass out. I love how I love the goats are so beefy in this version. They're so funny. What a good scene. Hatok, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the ball. We're here with Beatrice and Burn Castle. And she's got Battler on a chain. It's very funny. That's a nice hobby. And that's it. That's all she has to say. After saying only that, the witch called Burn Castle once again put on her goat mask and was swallowed up by the shadows of all the other tall goats. Wait, who's this? The young woman's goats giggled, and the witch once again let out a high-pitched laugh. Who was that? Wait, who was that other voice? That didn't sound like Burn Castle. Oh, it was the goats. Okay, I was a little confused by the way that was phrased. Shoot a bits!
終わりの時間と始まりの時間が溶け合う時を指すぞ。
Right, midnight, yes. The beginning hour and the ending hour. I understand symbology.
魔女の宴を始めよう
When the witch announced the beginning of the banquet, the large clock pointed at 24, and the sound of a bell began to ring out.
さあ今こそ黄金の扉を開こうぞ
You don't get to find out what's in there. Nobody gets to see it. It's getting PowerPoint transitioned away. All at once, the butterflies leafed in gold flew all around the inside of the room. Amidst the golden storm and the brilliant gold-colored light, the barrier between this world and another was cut open. Wow! Surrounded by the goats' delighted voices, the mansion of the human world and the mansion of those not human overlapped, and the members of the household who praised the resurrection of the Golden Witch scattered into gold butterflies and poured out of the depths of hell. It was a golden tornado, a rondo of golden demons. Hey, that's my favorite Castlevania game. Come, tonight we will put aside rank. Throw open the wine cellar, drop the snake's head in the liquor pot, throw cows and chickens into the furnace alive, drink and eat, and sing and dance, sneer and kill and desecrate and degrade. Holy shit, Kinzo's just like orgasming right now. This dude is coming in his pants. The Gold Nobles were suddenly crushing in around Kinzo, almost like they were kids demanding the signature of some famous movie star. There were only two differences. First, these were witches, not kids. And second, what these witches demanded was not a signature. The sea of goat nobles began to drown Kinzo. Only Kinzo's laughing voice echoed through the area. Cool. It was a grand mixture of laughter and his death throes, and Kinzo became wine and meat and bread. An aroma if slurped, a rich taste if gnawed, and pleasant to tear to bits. The sound of his death throes lingered on sweetly, and if adorned with the melted chocolate and golden argent, it would make a wonderful dessert. If you took the bones to home, you could also use them in a soup, and the remains could even become toys for the children to play with. And they could also become splendid tools for fortune-telling that always brought misfortune. Oh, I love bringing misfortune. I'm gonna take some of those. That entire scene was watched by the furniture. It was all fantastical. It was all demonic. Was that quaking of its supposedly paralyzed heart proof that it could still feel fear? And at that time, its knees buckled and the furniture's body fell down in the middle of the carpet. After all, the witch had kicked those knees from behind.
ひざまずき敬意を示せ額を絨毯にこすりつけて己神の癒しさを示せ両手を後ろで組んで血肉のすべてをわらわに捧げることを誓え
I can't hear you, Battler. Speak up? The furniture let out a painful voice. Fear is the most basic emotion humans have. Was that emotion reviving his sense of self, which should already have been slain?
まだまだわらわの家具にはふさわしくないかよい
Gotta tenderize him a little more.
じっくりそなたわらわ好みにそしてわらわにのみふさわしい家具に仕上げてやる今のそなたにできるのはせいぜい客人の方々を楽しませることくらいか
The goat nobles were surrounding the crouching furniture. It seemed their blazing blood-red eyes couldn't hide their ecstasy at this new young food they'd been given. And from the ugly teeth that stuck out of countless mouths, saliva, or maybe the traces of meat and wine that they had just eaten, dribbled down. How spooky, how scary, how gory and gross. As the furniture let out a wild scream, it retreated, still sitting on its backside, but the circle of goat nobles was closing in. Then the furniture looked at the witch's face. It had surrendered to the witch, so believing that the witch would show some compassion, it stared at her face in the end. But there was nothing but scorn on the witch's face, and she wasn't even facing the furniture anymore. The witch went off to greet an honored guest with whom she had crossed gazes. The goat nobles looked down upon the furniture. Actually, they had been waiting. Just like how one must remove the cork in order to drink champagne, they had to wait for one thing before partaking of the offering served at this banquet. Of course, the furniture didn't know about this thing, but it came out of his mouth all by itself. Just like the unavoidable pop of a cork, it inevitably came out of his mouth. It was a scream. It was a sign that marked the beginning of the modest banquet at which he was to be served. What was that noise? Gabu gabu yaku gabu gilborial. Gabagool. By now, the garden was one of both roses and gold. A gold-colored garden where gold butterflies, gold fairies, and gold lizards rampaged and flew about wildly. The lizards seem a little out of place, but okay.
Maria, hayaku!
I'll have what he's having. I do like this theme a lot. We heard it like once before. Rosa grasped her gun and the blanket wrapped around the ingot, and ran at a speed Maria couldn't match, sometimes pausing to call out to Maria to run faster. So she saw it every time. She saw the golden pursuers chasing them from the mansion. The mass of gold butterflies was chasing after them like a massive crawling hand. And strange-looking shadows with goat heads were chasing after them. There was no need for her to strain her eyes, because those blazing pupils told her what would happen if she was captured. Maria fell down. For just an instant, Rosa was ashamed by thoughts of abandoning her daughter and running away, and at the instant her feet touched the ground, she ran back. Oh! I thought she was just gonna run. You know, I 100% thought she was just gonna leave her there and take the gold. The goat head that had sprinted over to get the first bite grabbed hold of the back of Rosa's own child's hair and pulled. Yeah, witches aren't so cool now, huh, little girl? Rosa rammed into the goat head with her shoulder, spun, bashed the back of her elbow in the goat's jaw, and buried her knee into its protruding chest. That's surprisingly hardcore. And she thrust the barrel of the gun inside the goat head's mouth as it doubled over from the pain in its gut. I guess I underestimated Rosa's love for her daughter. Yo, rad. The blast from the Winchester's .45 caliber long Colt bullet exploded inside the goat head's throat, and its medulla oblongata was instantly pulverized. The goat head hadn't understood. It had thought women were like pre-opened wine bottles. It had thought that turning them upside down would immediately make their deep red contents come out. That's not even how men work. Maria, who had been released, hugged Rosa. But the pursuers were still coming. They could see the giant goat heads, who had given up pretending to be human, running towards them from across the rose bushes. Rosa spilled several extra bullets, which had been in the pocket of her coat, all over the place, and told Maria to pick them up.
Maria, Mamaがもし倒れたら、あなたは走りなさい。海岸へ行くの。そして泳いで泳ぎなさい。この島のどこにも生き延びることのできる場所はない。
やだ。ママと一緒。
Rosa's gun roared 4 times, but even though 4 shots really did hit the massive approaching goats in the chest, they didn't even flinch. The goats ran with a violent vigor as though they planned to crush Rosa and Maria with those massive bodies. Yeah, she's got her shotgun loaded. She's taking them out like Doom Guy. Rosa grasped the blanket with the ingot in both hands, and she herself sprinted, pulling it along, without even an ounce of fear of those strange-looking giants. If it's to protect my daughter, I'll overcome even hell! Rosa roared. The goat heads roared. That terribly heavy ingot, after picking up a fearsome centrifugal force and speed, slammed into the head of the goat head. Holy shit. She's just using it as like a blackjack. Rosa pulled a fountain pen from her pocket, but she held it crooked. She placed it in her palm, in the gap between her middle finger and her ring finger, so that it stuck out when she made a fist, almost like a stinger was growing out of it. Berserker Barrage! That stinger sliced into the left eye of the goat head as it fell over. Was the goat head's roar a scream? But Rosa's roar was different. She pulled back her fist and slammed it into the fountain pen that was still sticking into the goat head's eye. She killed a goat with a fucking pencil. The pointed tip was gouged into the depths of its head. When Rosa grabbed the gun Maria had thrown, the giant finally tumbled on the ground with a thunderous crash. This is just a make Bioshock Infinite, but replace Rosa with Maria and place Booker with Maria and Elizabeth with Rosa, or the other way around, or something. I don't know. That joke doesn't really work. The one that throws her all the ammo, you know. However, at the same time, I saw the goat-head pursuers on the other side of the rose bushes increase in number. I've gained enough distance for now. I held onto the blanket wrapped around the ingot and the gun and once again ran with Maria. Why am I running with a gun in my right hand and the gold in my left? Why don't I let go with one hand and grasp Maria's hand? I can't let go of the gun that protects my body. I can't let go of the gold that protects my future. But even so, I've let go of the hand of my daughter, the one who is my future? Run, run, run! She got out of the rose garden and began to run down a staircase through a grove of trees. But Rosa knew. This path through the grove turned and twisted many times and only seemed to be long. She tore straight through it. She had played here often since her childhood years, so she knew. To the beach, to the beach, to the sea, to the sea, to the sea. And after reaching the sea, nothing to do but swim, swim, swim. And if Maria can't swim, I'll carry her as I swim. There's nothing but death on this island. As she raced down the stairs, she took a bad step. A violent pain ran up her left ankle and her mind went completely blank. Rosa fell down several stairs, shocked by her ankle, which was bent at an odd angle, and the blanket with the ingot wasn't there. She had let go of it the instant she fell and it had disappeared somewhere into the darkness. Yeah, I don't know how she was planning to swim with the gold anyways. Only the gun was left. Tremors in the earth were getting closer. It was only a matter of time before the goat heads flooded in. She didn't want to imagine how many there would be or how strange they would look. The light dancing gold pursuers arrived. The gold butterflies surrounded Rosa and Maria, waving and clamoring as though saying, "The prize is here! The prize is here!" Rosa couldn't even try to get up. The violent pain from her broken ankle was so great that she couldn't ignore it, even in her last moments. What am I doing? I had the gold, which would have been worth several million yen. I might have been able to start over with that. And yet I fell, lost it, and now my own life is in danger, and Maria's too? What has been my life? I was born into an incomprehensible family, with irritating older siblings since the day I was born. What did I do? No matter what I did or didn't do, I was always in trouble and bullied and made fun of. What has my life been? The roar inside Rosa's heart shriveled away and disappeared. It disappeared when she heard Maria's crying voice as she sobbed and clung to Rosa. And then I started blasting. Listen, let's be honest. She won't make it swimming anyways. She is a 9-year-old girl.
いつもあなたのことを後回しにしてきた。運動会に行った。授業参観に行った。でもいつもママは世間体のことばかりで、あなたがこんなママとでもあなたは一緒にいたいというの。こんな悪いママなのに。ね
えママ、知ってる？世界にママは一人しかいないんだよ。いいママも悪いママもいない。ただママが一人いるだけなの。だからマリアは世界でたった一人ママがいてくれればいい。そしてママにとってたった一人のマリアになりたいの。機嫌が良くて甘やかしたいマリアと邪魔だからいてほしくないマリアは別人じゃないの。
This is surprisingly insightful for a 9-year-old.
マリアもたった一人のマリアなの。だから怖いママも優しいママも一緒。マリアにはたった一人のママなの。
私はなんてバカだったの。黄金なんかいらなかった。ただあなただけの手を引いていればよかった。私はなんて。
Oh well, maybe you won't be so greedy next time around, Rosa. The shadows of the goats covered the sky even more thoroughly than the trees of the forest. Their roars blotted out the world with fear. Rosa, still hugging Maria, readied her gun with one hand.
マリア、一緒に行こう。ずっと一緒よ。ママが迷わないようにずっと一緒に。
すぐに会えるよ。ずっと一緒だよ。黄金鏡で会えるよ。
I don't know about this golden lamb thing.
そしたら一緒に遊ぶの。
Doesn't seem to be what's a big heaven meetup.
狼と羊のパズルで遊ぶの。ママはまだ1問しか解いてないけど、マリアは全部解いちゃったんだよ。
I have so many picarats, Mama.
だからマリアが出題してあげる。
She had bought it as a birthday present and then hadn't played it with Maria after that first night.
遊ぼうね。一緒に。約束する。
Those eyes, sparkling like red-hot lava, looked just like a group of fireflies. In your eyes, they danced, closed in, and attacked.
マリアが込めてくれた銃弾を食らいたいやつから前へ出ろや。
You've got huge guts! When the seagulls cried, there were no survivors. That's pretty raw. That was a pretty raw epilogue, I guess? The Golden Witch has prepared a gift for you in commemoration of your stay. You can find these new features on the title screen. We gotta go to the tea party. Episode 2 tea party, yay! It's not over yet, Snake! Purgatorio. We're back here. Wow. Oh, Rosa's here this time. Rosa awoke from her doze. It must have been a very deep sleep. Her mind was hazy and she wasn't thinking clearly. Where is this? It felt like some mansion, but it did seem to be the Ushiromiya mansion. She could see a room that looked like a parlor, and there was some tea that had been prepared. It had probably been made for her. Around the room, some glitter that looked like gold leaf drifted about, making the scene look quite fantastical. When she eventually realized that they were gold butterflies, it further strengthened that impression. There was someone across from her. A woman. A lady. It was the portrait's witch. She seemed to be having a one-sided conversation. She was probably talking to Rosa, but Rosa, whose mind was clouded up by a deep fog, didn't have a clue what was being said.
何でもよい。そなたが望むものがあるならば、その強運への褒美と思うもよかろうし。わらわの求めに対
What did
す
she
る
mean
正
by
当な
this?
対価と考えてもよい。そなたにとっては、全く大したことではないかもしれない。しかしわらわにとっては、
The deal?
それだけ意味がある取引だということだ。
What is she talking about? I don't know. I don't know.
ただ、せっかくわらわは魔女なのだから、魔女にしか叶えられない願いを求めるのが、せっかくの機会ではないか。この黄金のベアトリーチェから恩恵を得られるなど。
Finally, Rosa started to feel blood flowing through her body. Her movements were still sluggish, and she couldn't even voice the words she was thinking. What's going on here? What's going on here? Seems a lot different than the first tea party.
山なす黄金を与えることは造作もない。何しろ、人の世の快楽はすべて金で換算できる。すなわち、黄金こそが人の世の快楽そのものなのだ。そなたは想像ができるか？生涯をかけても使い切れぬ黄金の山が。
Well, we don't have to imagine it, we've seen it. As the witch blew on her pipe, multicolored smoke enshrouded their surroundings. Wow! Check out this PowerPoint transition. Whee! As she did this, the inside of the parlor was suddenly filled with stacks of gold ingots. It looked like a shining gold-colored wall. If each ingot was worth several 10 million yen, how much would all of this be worth? It seems sinful to even think of such a number.
しかし、人の世は難しい。どれほど空高く積み上げた黄金であろうとも、満たされぬものがあることを知っている。埋められぬ隙間があることを知っている。わらわはそれを
I have no idea what she's talking
そ
about.
れこそが魔女であるわらわにしか与えられぬ褒美であると考えている。そなたのそれを。なるほど、これはいい。わらわにしか与えられぬものだ。そなたもさぞや喜ぼう。口にせずともよい。そなたの心の隙間など顔に書いてあるからすぐにわかる。
Could you at least wake up before you start let me wake up before you start making Faustian deals with me? Rosa felt a touch of discomfort at this witch, who kept on talking even though Rosa hadn't uttered a single word. But since she still couldn't manage to speak and was so helpless that it was difficult to even move a finger, she couldn't do anything but listen.
そなたの深き心の傷はどこま
I
で
love
遡れば癒せる
gold!
のか。これは深い深い。
It's weird how the E and quite is cut off there. Your word wrap broke.
そういう傷は見た目には癒えていても
Oh, this is like the Phantom Pain.
うずきを感じ続けるものだ。感
It's
じ
still
る
there.
直
I
せ
can feel it.
今一度傷口を開くこともあろう。
As the witch spoke, she stared deep into Rosa's eyes. What in the world was she peering at? Rosa felt uncomfortable, but she couldn't look away.
そなたの痛みはすでに生まれ
You
な
were
がら
born
に
into
して
the
運命
worst
づけら
family
れた
ever.
ものか。これはなんとも辛いものよ。言わずともよい。わかる。わかる。
Meow. Rosa was gradually being sucked into the witch's eyes. Then the world grew dark, spinning round and round as she was sucked in.
Rosa, Rosa,
What?
どうしてお前はそんなにバカなのか?
Oh, that's Kraus Nissan's voice. I guess you could tell right away. Kraus Nissan is a real adult, so he's very smart. So he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. Are we in our end of Evangelion moment? He was a very scary person. I was often hit, and my toys were taken from me and broken. I was apparently being punished for something bad I'd done, but I never really understand what it was, or why I was being punished. I was always punished suddenly, and then later told that what the punishment was for in a forced manner. But it was always something I didn't remember doing. So I really hated Kraus Nissan.
Rosa, Rosa, どうしてお前はそんなにバカなのか?
Everybody's just calling her an idiot? Oh, that's Eva Nissan's voice. Eva Nissan is a real adult, so she's very smart. So she hated this stupid kid, Rosa. She was always a very sly person, and she often lied to me, tricked me, bullied me all the time. Apparently I was stupid, and she said it was only natural for stupid people to be swindled by those smarter than them. So I wanted to become a wise person like Eva Nissan and listen to what she said, but when I obeyed her for some reason, someone always got really mad at me. So I really hated Eva Nissan. We're just in this pit of inner reflection here.
Rose, Rose, どうしてお前はそんなにバカなのか?
Oh, that's Rudolph Nissan's voice. Rudolph Nissan really knows how to get things done, so he hated the stupid kid, Rosa. When Kraus Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Kraus Nissan. When Eva Nissan was around, he would be friendly with Eva Nissan. And when Kraus Nissan wasn't around, he would be violent like Kraus Nissan. And when Eva Nissan wasn't around, he would play dirty like Eva Nissan. And even though he was also bullied most of the time, when Kraus Nissan and Eva Nissan weren't around, he gave me 2 people's worth of bullying. So I really hated Rudolph Nissan. Oh, but these were my memories from when I was a kid. It's common for unfair things to happen between kids, and you mustn't hold on to grudges for such things forever. With time, those memories get buried away, and forgetting them bit by bit is supposed to be part of growing up and becoming an adult. So becoming an adult is the same thing as separating yourself from all those memories, and because of that, no matter how much time passed, Rosa couldn't become an adult. I love suppressing my trauma. That's what being an adult is. Being repressed. Even though she had been blessed with a daughter called Maria and was called a mother, she didn't at all feel like she had become an adult. The witch pitied her for that, and she smiled, saying that she could heal that pain herself.
どうやって癒すのか可能ではあるが簡単ではない。時間を巻き戻し、そなたに兄と姉がいなかった世界を与えることもできる。しかしそれでは、そなたは兄と姉に苦しめられた記憶が残らず、故にそれをもって褒美であると言われても納得
You wouldn't learn any lessons from that.
上は癒してこそ満たされる。上そのものをなかったことにしても誰も感謝しない。日々の飽食に感謝する若者がいないようにな。わかるか?
I'll have you know my daily gluttony is perfectly justified and I deserve it. Why should I give thanks? I think she's telling me something really complicated. In short, even if she makes it so I never had older siblings, that wouldn't remove my pain. Maybe that's what she's saying. Strictly speaking, that's not quite right. Healing isn't the same thing as removing pain. It's the pleasure we earn as compensation for withstanding pain. Therefore, removing the pain isn't healing. To know the joy of healing, you have to know the pain.
となれば、そなたの痛みに報いる喜びがいる。そなたは苦難の過去を誇っていい。苦難を知らぬ者には 味わえぬ快楽を
It's an
知る資
interesting
格があるから
perspective.
この快楽を知る者は同じ喜びを他者にも与えずにはいられなくなる。
Wow. When the witch snapped her fingers, even though the room was still filled with a mountain of gold and had already lost all semblance of reality, a fabulous tablecloth appeared on top of the table. And a wonderful meal was laid out, almost as though it was the opening of a banquet in a castle from some fairy tale. For an instant, Rosa truly did feel a pleasurable surprise at how fabulous it was, but at the same time, she felt a bit of anticlimax. After all, she didn't think being bullied by her siblings could be wiped away by just one meal, no matter how delicious.
食は人の快楽の多くを知
Food
る。
is the world's joy.
生涯生き続ける限り豚のように食い続けなくてはならない。一食で足りなければいくらでもその心の痛みが癒えるまで美食の宴を続けようではないか。
I don't think that'll do it.
始めろ、家具ども。
All the goats are back. As the witch clapped twice, there were suddenly 2 goat head servants there, and they began to prepare the meal. From the beautiful dishes adorning the table, they efficiently took some food and began to pile it up on Rosa's plate. It really did look delicious, but Rosa's body still felt as heavy as lead, and there was no way she'd be able to eat. Maybe they also understood that. The goat head servants tied a napkin around Rosa's collar, and gallantly brought a glass of before-dinner alcohol to her mouth, tilting it for her. She remembered an old servant who had once carried rice porridge to her mouth when she was laid up with a high fever. She couldn't drink it well, and it dripped down from her mouth, but she felt this fragrant sweetness spread throughout her mouth.
ドイツ産の寄付ワインにあやかった甘きアペリティフよ。
Aperitivo.
白ワインを赤きゴールデンドロップで染めたワインカクテルだ。名付けるならばブラッディ・クラウス。
Oh, very, very smart. It's a
そなた
funny
の
joke.
兄を圧搾機にかけて絞り出した血のゴールデンドロップだけで染めてある。
Just a little bit of cannibalism is fine. Rosa coughed violently, and the bright red that stained her face made it look as though she had coughed up blood.
そなたは紅茶に詳しかろうから意味がわかろう。ゴールデンドロップとは最後の一滴のことだ。紅茶で最も貴重な一滴と言われている。そして血のゴールデンドロップも同じ。人間から絞り出せる血液の
Okay.
貴重なる最後の一滴。あれにて絞る。
As the witch snapped her fingers, a bright red veil that had been set up before something large was removed. The solemn and massive machine there was just like a coffin for a large-sized person with many large bulb-like things stuck to it, and it looked like a sinister torture device. You gotta drain him. But by its unnerving shape, she could tell that with a human strength, it could be used to tighten and compress something. And it seemed that there were still some squeezed dregs remaining, because of the bright red remains that stained it.
しかしゴール
Yeah,
デン
it's
ド
the
ロッ
human
プは
juicer.
一度に一滴しか取れぬ。どんな人間からも一滴以上は取れぬというわけだ。しかしわらわは魔女。人を蘇
You
らせる
pulp
こ
them and you
とも
juice them, and you get plenty of good juice. When the witch snapped her fingers, the human compressor suddenly began to shake. No, she could also hear a groan. It looked almost as though someone sleeping in that man-sized coffin had woken up and was now struggling to get out. That was wrong. What was inside definitely had been squeezed dregs. Using her magic, the witch had once again revived the squeezed dregs to how they'd been before they were squeezed. 3 goat-head servants with muscular physiques approached the compressor and forcefully started tightening the large bulb. As they did, an unearthly moan came from inside the coffin. Rosa thought she knew the owner of that voice. This is healthy therapy, Rosa. Just kill your family over and over again and drink them up.
料理は料理場でが
It's like therapy, right? Catharsis.
もう十分だ。下がれ。ゴールデンドロップがどれほど貴重なものかお分かりいただけたかな。それを集め、それほどに赤く染めるには何十人分も絞らなければならない。
The witch definitely said that only one golden drop could be taken from a single human. And yet she had dozens of people's worth of golden drops from a single human. Only a witch could do this. The golden witch Beatrice called a single human endlessly. In other words, before Beatrice, even death did not mean freedom.
一口目はいらぬか。この男に殴られ、口中に滲んだ血を飲み込んだ日を忘れたか。そうそう、あの味を思い出せ。こぼし尽くして枯れ果てた涙の味を思い出せ。その悔しき思い出を癒して足りるアペリティブであると信じている。
Technically, the catharsis hypothesis was proven somewhat. Disproven? Well, I don't care. I think it's fun. What matters here is my enjoyment, okay? If I like catharsis, then it must be good. Once again, the goat head servants tilted a deep red glass against her mouth. Rosa tried resisting by closing her lips, but the deep red liquid was relentlessly poured into her mouth, which hung open with shock, and the inside of her mouth was filled with a ghastly sweetness. It definitely was a fragrant sweetness. The living blood of her brother, who had given her such hateful thoughts and made her soak her pillows so many times, had been collected from his death, repeated dozens of times. How could this crimson-stained wine not be sweet? But Rosa tried to spit it out. Because of that, the deep red wine that spilled out of Rosa's mouth looked just like a bloodstain. Now that she knew that this ghastly substance wasn't a simple aperitif, Rosa couldn't help but feel uncomfortable about what would happen if this banquet continued. Double tongued, you say? Yeah, of course, of course. See, it's a pun. It's a double-tongued salad made from tongue. When Rosa heard the true nature of the pink-colored meat piled up on the salad, she had a sudden impulse to vomit her guts out. Furthermore, the goat servant stuck a fork in it and carried it to Rosa's mouth. See, get it? It's a double-tongued salad, and Eva is double-tongued herself, cause she lies and connives. It's very clever. Very biblical. It probably would be quite sweet, soft, and enchanting in her mouth. After all, Eva's lies were always sweet, and young Rosa had always listened to them. And, you might say, the stimulating pepper seasoning expressing the truth behind those lies well. As the tongue salad that kept being pushed into Rosa's mouth was covered with saliva, she spat it out. The goat head servants carefully returned it to the plate and carried it to Rosa's mouth over and over again. That's a lot of tongue. Some good tongue action. As Rosa's tears dripped down, she resisted frantically. However, the only way she could resist was by refusing to swallow. Even if she didn't swallow it, the taste of the French dressing increasingly permeated Rosa's mouth. I have so many tongues. Oh, face. I really don't want to know what body part she used for dessert.
お前が信頼し、にもかかわらず裏切った人間たちをふんだんに調理した。この宴を、そなたの心が満足するまで、
It'll be fun.
続けようではないか。
Just eat everybody who has ever mean to you.
嬉しいだろう。後ろ
裏見やRosa.
嫌がるふりなんかするなよ。本当は嬉しいってのは分かってるんだぜ。
K? I like how it says K. Like a valley girl. Okay? If you want to laugh.
ムカつく兄貴や姉貴の悲鳴の生演奏がないとご機嫌になれないってんならいくらでも聞かせてやる。いいんだよ、いやいやで。
You'll come around.
それがお前の勝負。
I know you're really loving this.
本当は全身が泡立つほどに嬉しいんだよ。なのに表向きは苦しんでるふりをしてるだけなんだよな。いいんだぜ。ここにはお前が気にする世間体も対面も何にもない。存分の大笑いして食い散らかせよ。
Who needs shame?
最高の宴だろ。後ろ見やろうぜ。
I love her voice. I love the way she says names like that. It's so good. Oh boy, I wonder what's for dessert. I wonder what's for dinner.
明かせばフルコースを食べ遂げようという励みにもなるだろう。デザート。
Oh, of
お前
course.
が愛しているふりをし続けなければならないマナ娘。マリアとリンゴのオ
Ew.
ーブン焼きだよ。うまそうだろ。
It really, yeah.
こいつを食べればお前は全てから解放される。自由だよ、自由。やっとローザという一人の人間として
You won't be tied down anymore. Isn't that great?
嬉しいはずさ。よだれが垂れてるぜ。鏡を見てみろよ。
Oh boy, I can't wait to see how the manga depicts this. I'm sure it'll be very appetizing. Oh, hi, Maria. Suddenly, a muscular goat cook was holding Maria under his arm. I'm imagining... See, that description makes me think the goat is, like, holding Maria, like, tucked under its armpit like a piece of luggage. And Maria gazed at Rosa with a face that was only slightly sad.
ママ、マリアのこと邪魔だった？邪魔じゃない。
As Rosa spat out the food that was continually being carried to her mouth. As she was covered with filth and saliva and blood, she resisted filthily and screamed.
ママがマリアのこと邪魔なら、マリア食べられても平気。
Very cool, Maria.
だってマリアはいつもママにひどいことばかり。ママが男の人を連れてくる時も静かにできなかった。ママが男の人とお泊まりしてくる時、寂しくて暴れてお部屋を台無しにした。勝手に探しに行って迷子になって警察のお世話になってママに恥をかかせた。何日も帰ってこなくて泣いちゃって近所の人に慰めてもらって
Mother of the year,
ママ
everybody.
に恥をかかせた。こんなマリアだからママの迷惑になってる。生まれてきてごめんなさい。だからマリアはママのために美味しいリンゴのオーブン焼きになるの。そしたらママに初めてマリアがいてよかったって思ってもらえるかな。マリアを食べて美味しかったって思ってもらえるかな。
美味しいよね。感類にむせべよ。娘がここまで行ってるぜ。
That's true. This all sounds bad, but she did go Doom Guy on those goats, so maybe there's some hope for Rosa yet. It was pretty cool.
これだけ美味しい食材に育てられるなんて。あんた最高の母親だぜ。
Delicious ingredients. You've managed to raise such delicious materials. Ah!
ママ、今までありが
That was a
とう。
little hard to look at.
バイバイ。
Bye bye.
待って
私はこんなこと望んでない。もうやめて、もう許して。いややめて。
The goats are not stopping. Ew, I really don't like those like noises, the noises. They're so gross.
ならば、そなたには認めてもらおう。わらわが魔女であることを宣言する。後ろ宮ローザはベアトリーチェを魔女と認めると宣言する。
Rose is the only one that didn't accept it that time.
認めます。後ろ宮ローザはベアトリーチェを魔女だと認めます。だからマリオを返して。私を返して。ついに認めさせたぞ。
Through force.
バトラはすでに屈服し、黄金鏡に招かれながらわらわを否定する愚か者ローザにも認めさせた。完璧だ。
Well, there's still 6 more episodes, so I don't know.
パーフェクト。
It's perfecto. That was really good. I don't know why she said it in English, but I really like that she did. It's perfecto.
成し遂げたぞ。完璧な勝利を。
I don't even remember what I was saying before. That distracted me.
さあ、マリアを連れて行け。ローザに美味なオーブン焼きを振る舞ってやれ。
うまそうだな。
Oh, there he is.
俺にはてめえの牛乳をスライスしてサンドイッチを作ってくれ。
How did you get
その
here?
声は。
What? An arm grabbed the back of the witch's head and smashed her face into the table. Holy shit. As it did, the witch broke to pieces, turned into a cloud of butterflies, and reformed into her body a short distance away. Battler Chad moments?
バトラー。貴様。家具となって魂まで屈服していたはず。
そのつもりだったんだがな。てめえの趣味の悪いレシピに耳を貸してるうちに腹が減ってきちまってよ。
This means Beato is a Logia user? I don't know what that means. Explain yourself.
魔女の丸焼きが食いたくなってきちまったのさ。
Roast Witch.
それからマリア。自分を食べてなんてセリフは10年早えぜ。
It's a One Piece thing. I haven't read One Piece. Go away. Stop trying to make me read One Piece. I'll never do it. That's weird, Marie. That's don't. Okay, that's weird, Battler.
必ず俺に言えよ。
That's even weirder.
約束だ。
約束する。
Classic Battler weirdo moment.
待たせたな、ローザおばさん。俺は忘れてたぜ。こいつは俺とこの女の一騎打ちだったんだ。俺が屈するわけには断じていかなかったんだ。ローザおばさんが粘ってくれたおかげで再び戦う気力を
I need that salty run back, Rosa. This person, he gave up down to the depths of his soul and surrendered to me, didn't he? I see, he doesn't know when to give up. Just what I expect from Amushura Miyakinzo's grandchild. So the kick of a phoenix is a phoenix after all.
威勢が良い。気に入った。そうでなくてはな。わらわの期待する後ろ宮バトラとはそうでなくては
I
なら
like you better when you resist.
わらわを否定してみろ。そしてそれをわらわは完膚なきまでに叩き潰す。
You're cuter that way.
何度でも屈服させてやろうぞ。一度靴を舐めたそなたに 何度でも敗北の味を教え込んでやる。
You'll never forget the foot-licking battler. I've ingrained that into your soul.
上等だぜ。この後ろ宮バトラ。泥を
That's fine. I'm into
立ち上
that.
がる男だってことを教えてやる。俺は喧嘩で無敵だった試しはね、何度か負けてる。だがな、必ず泥を吸って立ち上がる。そして必ず蹴りをつける。男の喧嘩はな、負けを認めない限り。
I actually love getting owned. This is my victory.
一本取られただけで俺が参ると思うなよ。楽しませてやるぜ。ベアトリーチャー。
受けて立とうぞ後ろ宮バトラ。
Wow. Yeah, he gets a Zenkai boost. It's like, yeah, Class Vaginal, it is like Dragon Ball, where Saiyans get Zenkai boosts from being on the brink of death. He just gets a Zenkai boost from being pegged.
その間に貴様にはたっぷりと聞かせてもらおうではないか。こたびのゲームでは密室
God, there were so many. Can you come up with a different kind of mystery?
逃げ工場のほとんどをわらわが赤で叩き潰した。その上でさらにどのようなへりくつで言い逃れてみせるのか。礼拝堂の鍵、ジェシカの部屋
I somehow missed this earlier when the Hat Talk rated, but Guitar Wizard 420, that's a great name. Thank you for following. I somehow missed that. But I'm acknowledging you now, and acknowledgement from me in any place, at any time, is a very special thing.
お前らのお得意な奇想天外、妄想暴言空想はったり、とんでも超展開斜め上でわらわをとことん否定してみせるわよ。
Use your best bullshitting techniques, Bada.
全然ダメだ。
What is he going Super Saiyan? Okay, that's the end of that tea party. All right. But don't go anywhere yet. We still have the secret tea party. Did Battler punch her? I don't know. I think it just ended on a cliffhanger. I really like the Evangelion text style credits the tea parties have. Yeah, I guess a battler isn't above punching Beatrice when she already did that thing. When he slammed her into the table a second ago. That was interesting. It was way different from the first tea party. I was expecting something more of the same. Some more like Battler and Beato arguing in the void. That was a lot different. I thought it was interesting that it revolved around Rosa. We'll have to see what's going on in the secret tea party. We'll have to see if Funny Burncastle shows up again. I still don't know what her deal is. I'm sure we'll learn a lot more as the story goes on. It's a little Vocaloid-esque, yeah. When I was doing Savage rating a few months ago, I was trying to do the static. We didn't have enough time to stick for them all, but we did some Savage rating. We did like the first 3, sort of. I would just pull up like a 5,000 song Vocaloid playlist and listen to that while doing Savage raids in 14. So my Vocaloid expertise has shot up a lot in the past few months. I've got a bigger appreciation for a lot of Vocaloid songs now, thanks to that. Miru. Well, that was the second tea party. We still got the second secret. There's a tea party and then there's a secret tea party. Unless there's not another one of those. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there will be a secret one every time. We'll find out, I guess. Yeah, the question mark party. Yeah, that's what it's called. The tea party of those who are not human. Because they're all witches there. Question marks has been added. You can find this new feature on the title screen. There's always one of those? Okay, there's always one of each. Episode 2 question marks. We'll see how this let's see how this plays out. Will we see Burn Castle again? This seems to be where she hangs out. The council will judge your fate, ass room. A little bit.
ここまで一方的なワンサイドゲームだと見応えを通り越して退屈よ。
これは相変わらずお点が辛い。退屈を愛さないベルンカステル教にふさわしい迫力ある展開だったと自負していただけに、これは手厳しい。
She's giving you a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, Beato. She called your shit mid, yeah.
フェアなゲームとしてはひどいものね。もう少し対等な条件でないと。
勝ち目がないと言われるか、ベルンカステル教に。
どういう意味かしら。
I like how Burn Castle only has 2 expressions so far, looking straight ahead and looking slightly to the left.
ごまかさなくてもよい。すでに知っておるぞ。そなたが傍観者でない。
I know what you've been doing. You've been dangling some hints, haven't you, you tricky Burn Castle?
隠し通せているつもりか。そなたは人の領地まではるばるやってきて、わらわの逆の目に貼る不届き者よ。わらわのゲームを傍観するつもりでいて、わらわの敗北に熱く張っておるのだろうが、図星であろう。
だったら
I don't have to answer that question.
実に面白い。あのラムダデルタ教を退けた最強の魔女、ベルンカステル教と戦
Who's
える
Lambda
機会を
Delta?
賜
That is a
れる
weird name.
本当に愉快。
They've referenced Lambda Delta a couple times.
ええ、私も愉
There
快
are so many, there's a lot more witches than I thought.
そこまで自信満々のあなたがボロボロに負けるところが見たくてはるばるやってきたんだもの。
Lambda Delta means 34? I didn't know that. I know they're Greek. I mean, obviously I knew they're Greek numbers. Letters, whatever.
それにしても、わらわと大ベルンカステル教との対決を、ただの一人の感染者もなくというのは、いくらなんでももったいないという。
呼んだのね。
Uh-oh. Is this did she call Lambda Delta here? Is that who they're talking about? Ah! You're so pink. Oh, she oh-ho-ho-hos. I like her immediately. You want me to see her? Oh, yeah, we should see her pachinko sprite. Okay. Yeah, that seems about right. That seems about right. I don't have any complaints about this one. It just seems like playing it pretty close to the original art.
ごきげんよう、ラムダ。あなた
She does look very smug.
退屈を愛さない同士、再び巡り合うのは運命かしら。
バカな子ね。私に勝てたのはちょっとした運と相性の問題だとどうして気づかなかったのかし
You
ら。
only won because you picked a top
そ
tier.
れで天狗になってよりにもよって ベアトリーチェに喧嘩を売るとは身の程知らずもいいとこね。ベアトリーチェは強いわよ。私より残酷だしね。
That makes sense, Hatsune Marvin. She's kind of doing that pose a little bit.
ほんのちょびっと。あとそれと人のことを勝手にラムだって略さないで。
Don't touch me. Out of my personal bubble.
この子はあんたのゲームであってもしっちゃかめっちゃかにするわね。
She's got two things because she's even more of a
ラムダ
dipshit?
デ
I
ル
see.
タ教には決してギャラリーとしてだけお呼びしたのではない。そなたがわらわと逆の目に張っているとお伝えしたら、今日はそなたも逆の目に張ると仰せになる。
Wait, you calling it a striker assist, Beatrice? Is that what's going on? Character bios are updated now?
まだ
Okay.
根に持ってるのね。
Let's see. Beatrice, the endless witch who has lived for 1,000 years. She is known for being exceptionally cruel, even among witches. She loves bullying the weak and is capable of using trial and error endlessly to find the cruelest fate they can possibly be given. And she toys with her victims even further by piling on one after another. This witch is extremely powerful, but word has it that she sometimes becomes obsessed with creating certain patterns, so that her means end up becoming her goals. That's another thing we heard earlier. The means end up becoming the goals. I always forget how small she is. Fucking bobblehead girl. Lambda Delta is voiced by Fuyuka Ono, who's played young Nia Takaro in Higurashi and was the OG voice for Dark Magician Girl in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I remember somebody told me, like, Burn Castle is a reference to a character in Higurashi. I'm like, oh yeah, there is a blue-haired girl in Higurashi. I don't know if there's any explicit connection or if it's just a funny. Burn Castle, the Witch of Miracles, who has lived for 1,000 years. Her vast power is capable of creating all kinds of miracles, and her heart is broken as a bit of a result. It's complicated? Great. Back when she was a human, Lambda Delta once imprisoned her within a cruel fate, toying with her the whole time. As a result, it seems she's unable to abandon others who are caught within a similar fate. Theoretically, she's a witch with the greatest of powers, but in practice, this is no more realistic than folding a piece of paper 100 times so that it reaches the moon. Yet, she did fold it 100 times. Whatever that means. I have no clue, like, what that means at all. Lambda Delta, the Witch of Certainty who has lived for 1,000 years. She embodies the idea that hard workers are rewarded and was revered even by humans. I like her, I didn't realize she had one of those dresses that, like, is longer in the back. I always thought those were cute. It's more important to Higurashi than Umineko. I mean, I haven't read Higurashi, so I wouldn't get it anyways. So, you know, whatever. I was prepared to ignore it. Though she is a witch, she does not stray far from the concepts of humans. For that reason, her power as one worshipped by humans is incalculable. However, she is fickle about whose efforts she chooses to reward, and in many cases, she bestows her favor upon those who entertain her the most. Her immense, swift, and terrifying power can make any witch surrender in an instant. However, she is often reckless, and Burn Castle was able to take full advantage of that.
私は宇宙最強の魔女なんだから。でもあんたに負けちゃったから最強じゃないの。だからあんたと敵対する相手は誰であっても私を味方するんだから。
That makes sense. I understand this logic. Just a night out with the girls.
というわけだ。ダイベルンカステル教が相手ならば、この程度ではハンデにもならぬだろうが、余興にはふさわしかろう。
好きになさい。バレてる以上、私も本格的にやらせてもらうわ。
Oh, now you're getting serious. Now you're serious about helping me. Okay, Burn Castle. So Burn Castle is the Witch of Miracles, and Lambda Delta is the Witch of Certainty. That's why they hate each other, because they're like opposite concepts.
それがよか
I understand.
もとより、わらわの辞書に 手加減の
Beatrice
文字は
always goes hard. She's always going in. She'll never stop going in.
ラムダデルタ卿、この度の貴重な縁を楽しもうではないか。
ええ、こちらこそよろしくよ、ベアトリーチェ卿。こいつには私も散々に栄養を飲まされてるの。私たち2人で叩き潰して2倍でお返ししなきゃ腹の虫が収まんないのよ。
こちらこそよろしくよ。そしてベアト、どういう勝敗になろうとも、これは私たちにとってとても有意義な。
そうね、もちろん負ける気はないけど、私たち
Do
は
we?
勝敗以上にいい。
I don't know what that goal is.
何しろわらわたち退屈を愛さない。
Is the goal beyond winning and losing just for entertainment? The three witches giggled, cackled, and guffawed. Guffaw is such a funny word. You don't see it used too much these days.
その通りよ。感謝するわ、ベアト。やっと退屈から逃れられそうだ。せいぜい私を楽しませなさい。ラムダデルタと二人がかりで。
そうさせてもらうぞ。
そうと決まればベアと早速作戦会議をするわよ。その子の弱点は知り尽くしてる。
This isn't fair. There should be like a fourth witch to team up with Burncastle. The teams are
にも
uneven.
かかわらず、ラムダデルタ卿は親ぶれになられた。
Drag her ass.
もう教えてあげない、教えてあげない。
Well, you heard it. She's soon. There you go. Battler's on Burncastle's side? I don't know if that counts.
退屈しない御人であるな、ラムダデルタ卿は。
I guess we're kind of on Burncastle's side too. She kind of seemed to talk directly to the readers, us, at the end of the last one.
面倒よろしくね。あれで寂しがり屋なのよ。
You sure know a lot about Lambda Delta.
なるほど。今流行りのなんとかというやつか。
Predicting... She's saying she's tsundere.
さすがはラムダデルタ卿。最先端でおられ。
Wasn't there like another gag earlier about how it takes place in 1986, but like Jessica's predicting tsundere or something?
もう行きなさいよ。あの子、あなたが追っかけてくるの待ってるわ。
それでは失礼しよ
I thought that was really funny.
う。また次のゲーム。
I'm your favorite witch of Umineko fame? Why, thank you. See you next game. Alright, the music faded. We're alone now.
厄介なのが来たけど、気にしないで。
Ignore her. Don't listen to anything she says. She's annoying.
ひどいことになったわね。私もラムダとのゲームで、だいぶ悲惨な末路というのを経験してきたつもりだけど、
Tragic end.
今回のは群を抜いてひどいわ。あなたが膝を抱いて心を閉ざしてしまう気持ちもわからなくない。こんな末路、あと何度もやられたら、100年を待たずに心が殺されてしまうわ。
Battler, if he gets owned too much, your heart will break.
ベアトにカンパされてしまったから白状する。今のあなたはかつてラムダの世界に囚われてい
Right.
た頃の
Okay, yes.
私にそっくりな。
So I feel like... I don't know if you saw me post my, like, insane theory board about Umineko, but I think it's proving part of it true, which is that the quote-unquote game board, you know, the inner story of, like, the things that happen on Rokenjima is all part of, like a I don't know what to call it, like a, just like its own inner world that'll keep repeating until a definitive winner is chosen.
過酷な運命の迷路に閉じ込められ、 魔女にいいようにいたぶられている。
It's a world created just for the mental exercise of proving whether or not magic had to have done everything.
私はそこから生まれた魔女だから、あなたの姉に当たるのかもしれない。だからあなたに力を貸そうと決めた。
That's what I think anyways.
しかし私の運命に比べて、
Like, I don't think the question is whether magic exists at all. It's whether magic exists in the scenario of the island.
同情どころか涙までもらってしまいそうな。
So I think that that's making that more specific helps with the figuring it out.
でも
Sorry,
どうかくじけな
I
い。
took a sip and that made me freak out.
ベアトになんか決して屈しないで。確かにあの子のゲームはあまりに卑劣。ゲーム版を少しだけ見させてもらったけど、その舞台仕掛けのいやらしさは多分ラムダ
You're not playing chess, you're playing Mousetrap. Look out.
しかも恐ろしいことに、あの子は駒を指すとき常に最善手を指しているわけではない。
Yeah, this was discussed earlier
ここ
too.
がラムダとは大きく異なる点。ラムダは勝つために常に最善手で圧倒的な数の駒を指してくる。
Beatrice doesn't always like make the best move for her. She makes the one that either she thinks will be more entertaining or something like that. This song is from Higurashi? Oh, interesting.
しかしベアトはたまにわざと手を抜いて駒を指してくるの。
I'm sure I'll read Higurashi eventually. I don't think it's as long as this
困
one,
ったこ
but I might be wrong.
と。相手の指し手から手の内を探ろうとしている私たちにとって、これは非常に手強い情報。
First chapter is free? Well,
厄介なか乱になりうるわ。しかしチェスに例えるなら、無駄な一手は相手にノイズを与えるかもしれないけれど、貴重な一手を損していることに違いはない。つまり付け入る余地はゼロじゃないってこと。
because Beatrice isn't always doing the thing that will like 100% guarantee her to win, but does do like confusing things to confuse Battler. So you can just see through that, the confusion.
今回のゲームもそう。あれだけ圧倒的な展開に見えて、実は隙がある。つけ込ませたいかのように隙がある。それが罠なの。
I don't know if anyone else saw the weak point. I was having a hard time figuring out how those mysteries could be done without magic.
とにかく屈服しないで。
There must be something. There must be something.
思考を止めないで。
Don't stop thinking.
あらゆる可能性を否定しないで。あなたが戦う意志を持ち続ける限り、ベアトに勝ちはない。魔女の戦いは守りが肝心よ。勝とうとするより負けないようにしなさい。
Flip the chessboard. Don't think about winning. Think about not losing.
断じて認めてはダメ。
Right. That's her only win condition.
あなたに魔女を認めさせること。これがベアトリーチェの勝利条件の一つであること。
Okay, one of her win conditions. I guess not the only one.
私もあなたの味方であると公言した以上、できる限りの力になれるよう努力するわ。あなたも努力なさい。もしまだ膝を抱いているなら、早く立ち直って。
I don't know how she can help us, but I guess we'll find out.
こういう時なんて言ったかしら。ファイト。おー。
Fight though. Is this also a Higurashi reference? That has to be a reference, right? Nipa! Me, Nipa! You're all saying she said the thing, so it must be a Higurashi reference.
恥ずかしいわね。
It reminds me of my cringe past.
私がここまでしてあげたんだから、早く立ち直りなさいよね。
Wow.
いたいた。
Ah.
ベルンはいじけてどっか行っちゃったかしら。本当にざまあないったらあ
Hey,
りしない。
hey, Burn Castle was nice to me. You can't break the fourth wall.
それにしても
You can't break the fourth wall. You're mean
相
to me.
変わらずベルンが選ぶ駒はしょぼいわね。チェスだってそうでしょ。駒が全部ポーンだったら勝ち目ゼロでしょ。駒が全部ルークやビショップだったら絶対負けやしないわ。
I don't know about that.
でもな、前回は私がついつい哀れになって好きな場所から駒を進めていいわよって言ったら、ベルンのやつお情けの空気も読めずに手持ちのポーンを全部入場させた状態から
So you
始
just
め
proved
て。
yourself wrong.
何よあれ、あんなの負けでもなんでもないんだ
No,
から。
it didn't count. Ugh.
ああ、思い出しただけで
Talk
も
about a
ムカムカ
sore
するわ。
loser. She's so salty.
そんなわけでこの私はベルンがギャフンとする顔を見ないと腹の虫が収まらないわけ。そんなわけなんでベルンの駒のあんたがそんな
I wasn't expecting her to drop the
私は
F
最
bomb.
高にいい気分なわけ。しかもあの子は
Hey, we still got 6 more episodes to
本当に負けず嫌い
recover.
だからきっと今頃悔しくて歯ぎしりをして涙をポロポロ流してるわよ。本当にざまあないわよ。ほら、あんたも一緒に笑いなさいよ。ちょっと、あんたまだ膝を抱いてるの？
No,
ベアトにちょっと
I
本
would
気出
never.
された
I don't
から
hug my
もう
knees.
そのざまなの？情けないったらありゃしない。
You must be referring to the red-haired himbo.
あんまり情けないからちょっとだけ力を貸してあげるわ。この宇宙最強で絶対の魔女である大ラムダデルタ教があんたの絶望的な勝率をほんのちょっぴりだけ絶対に近づけてやるわ。
So, you're not even on Beatrice's team at all
どうしなさ
anyways.
い？ベアトリーチはね、確かに残酷で強力な魔女かもしれないけれど、この私の敵じゃない。 なぜか？甘いからよ。あの子はあと数手でチェックメイトできる局面を作りつつわざと詰めない。くだらない駒を取ったり余計な駒を置いてより一方的な盤面にしてみたり。早い話が勝ちが見えると遊び出す悪い
She likes playing with her
癖がある
food. She never finishes her plate.
あんたやベルンにとって辛い様々な攻め手のほぼ全てが私から見ればやりすぎの無駄もいいところ。つまりそれこそ好きでありチャンスでもあるってわけね。恐れるに値する相手じゃないでしょ。手段と目的を時に履き違える。
It's like I'm being coached between rounds.
そして悪い遊びが過ぎる。その結果自ら弱点を作り晒してさえ
They're coaching me between
私
sets.
のような最強の魔女から見ればなんでこんな余裕ぶった
That's Bandit Evo, you know.
自ら勝率を下げてるなんてね。でもまあ
It really is like a Twitter argument,
ベルンみ
yes.
たいな相手を読んでかわすタイプの魔女には非常に相性が悪いってわけよ。読みが効かないから。ベルンにとっては私みたいな素直で正直なタイプは読みやすくてやりやすいんでしょうね。ムカつくことに。まあでも私みたいな超火力タイプはベアトみたいな軽く
Wait, are
て
you-
広い弾幕タイプなんか真正面から打ち破れちゃうわけだから。
Are you shmup players now?
相性の
Is this
ジャンプみ
Toho?
たいなものかしら。私がパーならベアとがグー、ベルンはチョキってとこね。まあどうでもいいことかしら。確かに私のパーはベルンのチョキに負けるけど
I'm super paper, yeah. I'm laminated paper, you can't cut me. It's like the rock, paper, scissors where you just start making things up, like lizard or nuke.
つまりこのラムダデルタ卿は超パーってわけ。少しは血色が戻ってきたみたいね。
Yeah, she would go like rock, paper, scissors, gun. Gun beats everything. You can shoot paper, and you can shoot rock, and you can shoot scissors.
一見すると本当に趣味の悪いやつだと思うでしょ。違うのよ。あんたが立ち直って戻ってくるのを期待して時間を潰して待ってるだけなのよ。わざと憎まれるようなことをしてあんたの義憤を引き出そうと。
Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't try this with the Lambda Delta. Oh wait, there's no kill this time. We can't try and kill them.
ああ、やだやだそういう子って。じゃあ私は戻るわね。
Or maybe that was just on the main menu. I forget.
私があんたにちょびっとだけ力を貸したのは内緒よ。別にあんたを助けたくて力を貸したわけじゃないんだからね。
You don't. You barely know me, and you're already doing the tsundere bit.
最強の魔女の私はベルンに負けて最強の座を奪われちゃったの。それで私はベルンからその座を取り戻さなくちゃならないわけだけど、もしここでベルンがベアトに負けちゃったら最強の座が今度はベアトに移っちゃうじゃない。まあ別に私はベアトから奪い返す方が楽だからいいわけだけどそれじゃあ私の腹の
No, I have to beat my real rival.
ベルンは
Seems a little fruity.
そして最強の座も私が取り返すの。
It's kind of fruity behavior.
別にあんたに力を貸すわけじゃないんだからね。ベルンを泣かせたら許さないんだから。
Saying she won't forgive me if I make Burn Castle cry. Well, that's the end of the tea party of those who are not human. You know what they always say? They're 1,000-year-old witches, so that rivalry has to have lasted a while. You know what they say? If a rivalry lasted longer than 7 years, you're not rivals, you're gay. I just got an achievement that says in all caps, I am super paper. Let's look at the tips, I guess. Let's look at the episode 2 ones. Oh yeah, so we can't... I guess we could only do it that one time, huh? Because Burn Castle and... Yeah, okay. Yeah, she got double killed, that's right. Oh, next. What? Oh, there we go. What? What? Oh, okay, these are the stakes. I see. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory, advanced level furniture created by Beatrice. They can sometimes act of their own will, but they cannot disobey the orders of their master. They are quite powerful while in their human forms, but when they return to their true forms as the Seven Stakes of Purgatory and fly at the enemy at high speeds, they display their true, terrifying potential. Belphegor is the fourth sister. She's sensible and reliable. Because of this, she corrupts her masters. Can't execute or resurrect her. It's interesting that we have him for these ones specifically. Kinzo, a health so... Does he say anything different? No? A self-taught human sorcerer. His natural talent and level of knowledge are in nothing special, but when his nearly insane powers of concentration and dedication were transformed into magical power, he awakened as a great sorcerer. Oh, if I click on them. Okay. His power is at least great enough that he was able to summon Beatrice and form a contract with her. Though this power is great, it is also extremely limited. He specializes in summoning and barriers, so perhaps it is fitting to call him a summoner. These are the characters... This is the characters in Purgatorio, but yeah, but like... Characters that were in Purgatorio tea parties weren't here before. Like, we didn't see Kinzo in Purgatorio. Satan is the third sister. She's very quick to anger. However, she actually wants others to be angry at her. That's it. That's cool. Mammon is the fifth sister. She's very greedy. Once she decides she wants something, she will sacrifice anything and everything to get it. Leviathan is the second sister. She's nothing but a crybaby who's jealous all the time. She'll do whatever it takes to get what she wants. Satan is the third. Oh, okay, we already read that one. We already read Belphegor. Okay, so, oh, there we go. Asmodeus is the seventh sister. She's a girl at the age where they want a boyfriend. She'd give up her life for love. Beelzebub is the sixth sister. She's a true gourmet. She'd use any ingredients to make a good meal, even her own body. Weird, but okay. Have we seen them all? Lucifer is the oldest sister. She's haughty and arrogant. However, she actually feels pleasure from submission. All right. Good for her. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Because there's 7. An unfortunate young man whom Beatrice has taken a liking to. A human who inherited the black blood from Kinzo. The massive resistance to magical power Kinzo was born with was passed on to Battler. Ironically, it was this trait that made it so hard for Kinzo to succeed as a magician. A massive defensive power against magic can be, even by itself, decisive in a battle against a witch. Kinzo has begun to lose this power with age, but young Battler's power is still on the rise. Perhaps it's understandable that Beatrice tried to crush it as soon as possible. Maria, a little magician who has inherited the black blood from Kinzo. Unlike Kinzo, she was gifted with talent and began to tread the path of the magician from a young age. However, her power is still weak, and she hasn't yet graduated from an apprentice's level. However, she is skilled with enchantments, which bestow magical power upon objects, and the magical items she creates are all master class. Enchantment? Genji, Kinzo's earliest furniture, which she created to serve him and him alone with complete loyalty. Though he was Kinzo's first creation, he was made with the help of a high-class demon. So while there were several defects in his initial specifications, Wait, what? What? Sorry, Did he made... Okay. Whatever. He conceals a great potential within himself. In the many years following that, he continued to mature and compensate for his many deficiencies, turning himself into the nearly flawless butler furniture that he is now. He is approaching the limit of his service life, but the magical power he can unleash for an instant rivals Kinzo's. So, he's like a golem or something? Or at least that's what this part of the game wants me to believe. Shannon is, in the truest sense, Kinzo's handmade furniture, which he created without borrowing the power of demons. Though there were a few problems with her initial specifications, she was given a very rare and precious thing, a heart. It seems that, as a result of his long personal experience, Kinzo came to believe that the power created by the heart contains within it a strong magic. In the lengthy span of time following that, she began to mature, becoming exceptionally skilled with powers of a protective or repulsive nature, such as magical barriers. Because of this, in the realm of barriers alone, she possesses immense magician-class power. Canon. So far, he is the last furniture created by Kinzo. Making use of all his previous experience, Kinzo managed to implement a set of flawless specs. Canon was also given a heart, but it was much weaker than Shannon's. Perhaps because Kinzo felt a sense of approaching personal danger related to his fortune as he neared the end of his life, he bestowed Canon with the rare power to fight and protect. However, he hasn't yet matured very far and is unable to properly control his own power and speed. So at least in the see, here's my belief. If you want to approach it with magic isn't real, these character profiles, which are all people in Purgatorio, are, how do I put this? How Beatrice or the witches might think of them, or how they might want to present them within the fiction, it's hard to understand at the moment. Because Beatrice is approaching things from the position that magic is real, right? So it must be that this is the picture of these characters she wants to present. Not either Beatrice or, you know, just her team, you know, the witches. That's all. That's how I put it. I'm not sure if that is an accurate reading or not. There's only one way to find out. We'll find out later, I guess. Yeah. That's my. Obviously, I can't confirm it or deny it. That's just what I think right now. It's a very interesting. Any predictions for episode 3? I don't know. I guess we might learn more about the family members we didn't see a lot of this time. Like maybe it'll be like more of Eva and Kraus or something. That would be my guess. It seems to be like we learn a little bit more about family members every time. Like this time we got a lot of Rosa. I could read the title. No, I don't wanna. I wanna go in fresh for next time. But on Friday, we'll be playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, checking out the very official 100% from Nintendo PC port of Ocarina of Time, which will be running at 60 frames per second. You've probably never even seen Ocarina of Time running at 60 frames per second. I've never seen it. It'll be an interesting experience. In the meantime, we're gonna raid Mom. So, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Feel and Hatok for the raids. I am enjoying this experience a lot. It's very interesting, very mentally stimulating. So, good night everybody, and I'll see you on Friday.